2011 was the year of the pitcher for the Phillies. One of the biggest stories was the encore appearance of Cliff Lee in Philadelphia. His season wasn't only good, in some aspects, it was historic. His domination in the months of June and August, surrounded by 4 other solid months, gave the Phillies the pitching power that propelled them to their 5th consecutive division title. Another crystal clear afternoon here in Clearwater, Florida, as the Phillies get set to take on the Detroit Tigers in front of a sold-out crowd. Pretty good pitching matchup. If this was interleague play, we'd be excited about this one. The Tigers and the Phils here at Bright House Fields. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy along with Chris Wheeler. Cliff Lee against Rick Porcello. That's a heavyweight bout. Lee getting set for his 2nd year back with the Phillies.
Great matchup here today, Tom. You said, yeah, if this was during the regular season, go, woo. But it is an exhibition game, but really good pitching we should see here from the starting pitchers this afternoon. Cliff Lee, a fan favorite, a guy that we all love to watch. Strong game last year when the Phillies won 3 out of 4 in Milwaukee late in the season. He was really good that night. In fact, he was on a run where he was hardly giving up anything in those games. Lots of shutout, and he just pitched a great baseball game that night. Now, here's what Cliff Lee did last season. Another solid year for the Phillies. 17-8 with a real good earned run average of 2.40. Now, Lee's one of those guys that really makes it look easy when he's out there. So, sat down and asked him, Cliff, when you go out to the mound, what are you trying to do?
For me, I try to keep it simple and not look too far down the road and, you know, just focus on what I can do today. And if I continue to do that throughout the rest of the season, next thing you know, you'll be in the postseason and have given yourself the best chance to do that.
And who looks like they're having more fun than Cliff Lee out there, Tom? You know, the DH is in here today, so he doesn't get the hit, and you know he's going to miss that.
Speaking of hitting, Prince Fielder's not here this afternoon, but he has helped make over this Detroit Tigers team. He's their new first baseman as Miguel Cabrera moves over to third.
Well, it's kind of like last year when the Phillies had that sneak attack and signed Cliff Lee. Well, nobody expected the Detroit Tigers to come up with Prince Fielder. That wasn't a name that was even mentioned in the sweepstakes for him. Next thing you know, he winds up in Detroit, where his daddy was such a great player for so many years. This guy can really hit. He's not just an offensive player that you think about hitting home runs. Look at him hit the ball the other way. He's an alleys-to-alleys guy. He's an adequate first baseman, maybe a little bit more than that. So they have a tremendous signing. Along with Miguel Cabrera, what a 1-2 punch they have added to that lineup right there. You see what he has done in the National League. He's another guy like Albert Pujols. I don't think the pitchers in this league are really crying too much that those guys are going to the American League.
And the Tigers have been home run happy so far this spring. This afternoon, it is Cliff Lee. He'll be opposed by young right-hander Rick Porcello, who's making his 2nd start of the spring. Well, this is our first telecast on our loyal broadcast partner in Philadelphia. So, Phillies fans, help us out. What station are they watching back home? Thanks, fans. And today's game on PHL 17 is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By your local tri-state Toyota dealers. Go Phillies. Go Toyota. Moving forward. By Citizens Bank. We're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Xfinity. Only from Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. Our national anthem here at Bright House Field. You just heard Don Gukian let us know that Shelley Starks, who performed in front of a sold-out crowd. The Phillies and the Tigers, the second time they've met in a handful of days. And Cliff Lee getting set to make his second appearance this spring. He pitched pretty well his last time out against the Blue Jays over in Dunedin. This is a split squad Sunday. All around the Grapefruit League, teams have split their squad and have gone to multiple destinations. The Phillies split squad will take the other half to Tampa to take on the Yankees. The Tigers split squad, well, they'll take the other half and head to Kissimmee to take on the Astros. Let's take a look at the Tigers starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading off at shortstop, Ramon Santiago. Ryan Rayburn starts at second base. He'll hit second. Miguel Cabrera at third. He'll bat third today. Delvin Young's the DH. He'll hit cleanup. Andy Dirks is in right field, followed by Gerald Laird, Don Kelly, Cleet Thomas, and Matt Young. And there is Cliff Lee, just ready to go already. He was out there as soon as the anthem was over. He's looking for a baseball.
It's funny to watch him go through that pregame routine of his, too, before he throws his first pitch. There you see his one outing this year, and he pitched real well in that. He does that stuff around the mound, then he fakes the throw into center field, then he reaches down, touches both pant legs, then he goes back, scrapes his spikes a little bit, then he goes to the rosin bag. Every time he's out there before that first pitch. Here's our scouting report on Cliff, just a pleasure to watch every part of the game. We talked about in the opening a little bit, the DH here today, and you know that disappoints him. And we get, you know, it's funny, I don't know whether people ask you, but during the winter, I kept getting asked questions about who won Pete Buchanan's contest, and it was Cole Hamels. It was Cole Hamels, right? I thought it would have been Cliff Lee with all the homers, and then Pete went through all the little things that they do, right. And they changed the contest around this year. He's going to give us the rules. All right, well, so that we can look at it.
Pete's up in Tampa.
Right.
He's managing the Phillies in their split squad game against the Yankees. CC Sabathia is pitching in that one against Kyle Kenrick, and we'll give you updates as the day goes on. 81 degrees, a little breezy. Wind not too sharp, coming in from right center field. And they say it may pick up as the afternoon moves along. Well, here we go. Ramon Santiago will lead it off for the Tigers. Tigers are 6-1 this spring. Their only loss to the Phillies the other day. And the first pitch of the day in there for a strike, according to Vic Carapazza. And it's no balls and one strike. Santiago getting set for his 11th season in the big leagues. And he lines one to right center field. That'll be in for a base hit. So he's aboard.
There should be some Tiger fans here today. I remember when I first came down to Clearwater, you know, obviously they didn't draw like this, the Phillies did. And every time the Phillies would play the Twins or the Tigers, it was like a home game for those teams. You wondered why. Well, because it was explained to me, Route 75 comes right out of the Midwest. People came down that way and settle on the west coast of Florida, where a lot of people settle from the east on the east coast because of Route 95. So there are a lot of Michiganders live in this area.
Well, the Tigers, their fans do travel. And they've had some success over the last handful of years, so they're excited about the upcoming year like the Phillies fans are.
Yeah, and if they were going to go to Lakeland and stay up in that area, it's only about an hour and 15 minutes over here.
Ryan Rayburn's the batter. The count, no balls and one strike, and Rayburn cues it foul. It's 0-2. Rayburn last year played 121 games for the Tigers, most of them at second base and in the outfield. And he's playing second base here this afternoon. And he should be the starting second baseman and should share the middle infield duties with Johnny Peralta, the shortstop. Although they say Brandon Inge has had a great spring.
Yeah, and he's been playing some second base for them.
Right. 1-2 the count. Tigers have a lot of guys that play multiple positions. I guess it makes it easier for Jim Leland to find some at bats for all of them.
That's what the Phillies are trying to do a lot of this spring.
In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This will be the first game where you see some minor leaguers have a chance to play, or at least they're here today. 5-6 guys in the dugout and dressed and ready to go. Took 5 or 6 guys over to Tampa today too, across the bay, play the Yankees.
Cliff Lee, his last time out against the Blue Jays, went 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. He tried that breaking ball and it missed low. 3-2.
Lloyd McClennan's managing the club today?
Well, we've been giving conflicting reports. It's either Tom Brookins or Lloyd McClennan. We think it's Lloyd.
We'll see if they run.
We know that Phil Nevin is over. There's Lloyd. Phil Nevin's the third base coach today. There goes the runner. The pitch fouled back.
And Lee's a good guy that teams will run on. He is a strikeout pitcher, of course, but he's so much around the plate, and he throws a lot of ground balls too, that they do like to start the runner at first base if he can in a 3-2 count. Phil Nevin, he can hit some homers.
Sure could. Runner goes again. Pitches hit in the air to left field. Juan Pierre's first chance of the day. Will it stay in the yard? Nope. The wind is going to take it right into the foot of the tiki bar. A 2-run home run for Ryan Rayburn. It's 2-0 Tigers.
Yeah, we hadn't gotten around to the wind report yet. And I think we'll be surprised to hear back home that the wind's blowing out to left, because that pop-up just went 2 rows out. See Lee's reaction like, oh, well, what are you going to do? I know I just got it out, but there, the flag's standing straight out to left field, so you're going to get a lot of help today if you hit the ball to left or left center. You see right here, it's a fastball up. He just pops it up. But it just kept going and going and going, and there's no way Rayburn thought that was a home run right away.
Well, that's the 18th home run this spring for the Tigers as Miguel Cabrera lines one into right field. And the first pitch he saw from Cliff Lee. So 3 straight hits now for Detroit. I know that number might have brushed by some folks because I was startled by it today, but 18 home runs in this their 8th game.
Well, they hit 9 in one game.
Well, but still,
it's a lot of home
runs.
But 9 in one game. They said it was a gale that day they were playing, and they kept hitting fly balls and kept hitting homers.
Here's Delman Young. Off speed pitch, no balls and 1 strike.
One of the 2 things they always tell you about baseball, Noor, spring training and September when you're out of the race, because the stats, you know, the things that happen are just skewered.
Well, but for Tiger fans, they're thinking, all right, well, this is a path to come this year because of Fielder and Cabrera.
Well, they'll hit some legit homers, those 2.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Young. And it's 1-2. Young was acquired last year by the Tigers from the Minnesota Twins. The deal came as a surprise for folks outside of Minnesota because Young had been so good for them the previous year. But his numbers were down a little bit last year. Overall, he had .268 with 12 home runs and 64 runs batted in.
He did a really good job for Detroit when he came over, as you said, Tom, from Minnesota. We saw him in a spring training game down at Fort Myers last year with the Twins. In fact, we were hanging out with his brother, Dimitri, before the game.
Who was trying to make a comeback this year. Another foul ball, and it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Cabrera, who is moving on contact, will go back to first.
Boy, what a career that guy's had. I remember him when he's just a skinny kid with Florida. And could he hit then, and can he still hit now?
It's only 28.
Unbelievable. It just seems like he's been around forever.
Sure does. And Schneider held on, so strikeout for Lee. 1 out here in the first.
He and Fielder should be a heck of a 1-2 punch for him.
So Cliff down 2-0 here in the first, gets his first out, and that'll bring Andy Dirks to the plate. There's some thought that Dirks will be the starting left fielder for Detroit. He's playing right field today. And he takes inside. It's 1-0. Because Delman Young, it seems, will be the DH for Detroit. Although I guess that can change. 1-1 the count.
Well, Cabrera's got to move over and play third, and that could be an adventure. They're not sure about that. You know, he finally found a home back at first base. He came up and played third base very, very well. But he was younger and more agile. And now he's going to be back at third.
1-2 the count to Dirks. Dirks helped his Dominican Winter League team win the Dominican championship this past year. He had the game-winning hit in that game. And as it turns out, a lot of his teammates are from the Dominican Republic, says that he's become a star there. Good play by Schneider, and it's 2-2. Cabrera thought about taking off.
Well, they evidently those winter league games, from everything you hear about what goes on down there, the fans can get a little emotional. They either really like you
or they really dislike you.
Or they'll run you right out of the country.
And a changeup called strike 3. The ball came back nicely, and Dirks didn't like the call.
Hey, quickly looking for a location here in the first inning, and well, on the inside corner.
Vic Carapaz, the home plate umpire. Tom Hallion is over at first. Phil Cuzzy at second. Mark Carlson's over at third. The infield umpires will move around during the course of the game. Gerald Laird is the hitter. Laird last year played for the Cardinals, that he takes up high. It's 1-0.
Yeah, he has a World Series. He'll have a World Series ring. He didn't play a whole lot with Molina around.
And he's probably not going to play a whole lot this year with Avila. 2-0 the count to him.
But that's the plight of a backup catcher, and every team needs a guy like the Phillies are very lucky to have Brian Schneider hold down that role and do such a good job for them.
Fly ball down the right field line into foul territory. And Lance Nix kind of got turned around. I think the wind brought it back. He thought it was deeper, and he may have just lost it in the sky.
It wasn't hit very high. He was running to a spot, as you say, Tom, and he got turned around over. See, right, he's going to run to a spot. Now he looks up. Too late.
Honestly, off the bat from behind home plate, I thought it was going to be deeper into foul territory.
Well, that's what happens. The wind's going to take everything from right to left, as we saw with that fly ball, the home run here in the center.
So 2-1 the count to Laird, with Cabrera at first. Fly ball, shallow left center field. John Mayberry patrolling center here in Clearwater while Shane Victorino's playing over in Tampa. Tigers do get a run. They get 2 actually on the home run by Ryan Rayburn. Phil's got a chance to bat for the first time when we come back.
Need versatility?
As we go to the bottom of the first here at Bright House Field, part of a sold-out crowd. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Jimmy Rollins, Juan Pierre, and Hunter Pence, the top 3. Then Jim Thome, John Mayberry Jr., and Lance Nix. And the bottom third of Pete Orr, Brian Schneider, and Freddie Galvis. To face right-hander Rick Porcello, 23 years old, out of North Jersey. Former first-round pick back in 2007, and well, Wheels, he's been in the big leagues 3 full years already, and he's a darn good pitcher.
Big arm, Tom. Big arm guy. When you think of the Detroit Tigers, of course, you think of Justin Verlander, one of the best pitchers in baseball. MVP, Cy Young Award winner last year. But Rick Porcello's got good stuff. He's probably a 3 or a 4 starter. See, his fastball's above average. First-round pick back in 2007. He felt that way down in the draft that year because of Scott Boras being his agent, and teams shied away from him because they knew how difficult it would be to sign him. Tigers signed him, and he's had a pretty good career. Not maybe the way you thought it would be, but this guy is a really good pitcher.
Oh, he won 14 games in his rookie year, won 14 games last year. Now, his earned run average was a little high last year, but sometimes that's skewed because of the American League. He'll face Jimmy Rollins, Juan Pierre, and Hunter Pence. Phillies yesterday were shut out 1-0. trying to get back on track. 4-4 this spring. The Tigers, as we mentioned, 6-1. Rollins 3 for 14. Jimmy bunts up the third base line, and it rolls foul. He's trying. He's been trying that all spring.
Yeah, you just need to get that one out in the grass a little bit, because once he got it on the dirt the way it was, it's going to kick foul almost every time.
You know, Charlie Manuel and Rich Doobie. Rich Doobie runs spring training as far as the schedules go, and you come here early during spring training, and there are different times for different players to go out and work on their bunting, and there have been a lot of guys out there. Jimmy, Shane Victorino, Juan Pierre, Scott Posednik.
And they call that drill when they go out and do it, bunting for base hits, which what they're trying to do. You're not bunting to get somebody over there necessarily. You're trying to bunt for a base hit.
0-1 the count to Rollins. And outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. How about Jimmy will enter this year with 1,866 hits. He tries to bunt again, and he bunts it foul. And if he has, let's say, the year he had last year, which I know he's hoping to have an even better year, he'll get over 2,000 hits at some point this year.
2,000 hits for any major league player, that's a heck of an accomplishment. You know, 3,000 is the epitome. Only a couple guys that had 4,000.
1-2 the count. And low with the fastball. 2-2.
One of them was a pretty good player in that Detroit uniform. Old Ty Cobb.
Sir. Off the end of the bat. The bunt didn't work, but the flare does work. Rollins broke his bat, but he has his 4th hit of the spring.
As Tom said, he tried to bunt a couple times for hits, then got the 2 strikes. Looked like a sinking fastball, and right off the end of the bat as he breaks the bat, you can see good movement in that sinker there from Porcello. That ball looked like it was heavy. Sounded heavy when he hit it.
So Rollins is aboard, and Juan Pierre is the hitter.
You throw Jimmy Rollins down the strike zone, that's where he'll wear people out. Now, that was a really good pitch, but Jimmy is such a good low ball hitter.
There's a high fastball taken for a strike by Juan Pierre. Juan now 34 years old. Played 155 games in left field last year for the White Sox.
Been trying to hook the ball here, but that's never been a real strong point for him. You know, he can do it, but, you know, Juan Pierre has always been a guy, and they shade him that way towards left center. You see the outfield defense. But look at that hole you get on the right side for a left-handed hitter.
Now, it wouldn't surprise you if he bunted here.
Right. Right. And they would not be bunting for a run in this situation. Right. Maybe bunt for a base hit.
Down the left field line, the wind will take that out of play.
See, that's more like Pierre. He's never been a guy that, you know, got the head out quick and pulled the ball all that much.
Juan Pierre and Jimmy Rollins have combined for 927 stolen bases in their career. Now, this is the first time they'll be teammates. Fastball, and Pierre is down on strikes.
Yeah, he just chased a bad ball here and gets himself out. Way out of the strike zone.
The way that ball was moving, it kind of looked like a changeup, but it had too much velocity on it.
Yeah, I agree. Watching the replay, it looked more like a slider or cutter. Right. So it was trying to get back to
maybe
the zone,
it was a cutter.
But it was up. Yeah.
That'll bring Hunter Pence to the plate. Pence has 5 hits this spring, 2 home runs. And the throw over. Rollins is back before the tag.
Pretty good move.
So important for a right-hander to have a decent move, a quick move over to first, just to, you know, give themselves an extra step or two against the base runner. Up the third base line, Cabrera. And in time, Pence thought he beat it. Tom Hallion said no. 5-4-3 double play. Phillies get a hit. They don't leave anybody. We go to the second. Tigers up 2-0.
I'm headed home.
Tigers on top 2-0 as fans have settled in. There are a lot of people here today. They get here so early, try to get some autographs, watch some batting practice through the concourse area, heading down toward Frenchie's Tiki Bar, which is open after each and every ball game. Some entertainment. Don Kelly will lead it off for the Tigers. Kelly, Cleet Thomas, Matt Young against Cliff Lee, who allowed a 2-run home run in the first. Don Kelly last year hit .245 with 7 home runs, 28 runs batted in. He didn't play a whole lot of first base. 45 games at third, 39 games in right field, but he has a guy at first base now that will barely sit out. And Prince Fielder. It's 2-1.
And they want to give fielders some time off. They can DH him.
Right. On the hands, over the glove of Pete Orr. That'll be a base hit. So Kelly's aboard. The Tigers now with their 4th hit in today's game. Cleet Thomas is due up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Greg?
All right, thank you very much, Tom. We saw it in the bottom of the first inning. Charlie Manuel's lineup showing a little bit of speed at the top today with Jimmy Rollins and Juan Pierre. And Tom, I know you mentioned it. You look at their combined steals in their career. How about 927, and for a pretty good percentage as well. And you know what, guys? These guys can both still run. And I talked to Juan Pierre before the game, and I said to him, hey, we're going to see you run a little bit today. He said, I'll tell you what, if I get on base, you'll see me run.
Well, Pierre playing left field today. We'll watch John Mayberry glide under that one to retire Cleet Thomas. I think it's remarkable what Pierre has been able to accomplish in his career on the base paths. I mean, he was a center fielder to start. Now he's moved over to left and trying to make this team. He had a lot of big hits against the Phillies when he was with the Florida Marlins. Greg was telling me a story that yesterday some of the fans were talking to Pierre about that. He said, man, it was 8 years ago.
Yeah. Well, but you don't forget what Juan Pierre and Luis Castillo did to the Phillies in those games. Boy, they were good.
Well, there's a good chance that he'll be out in left field once the season gets underway if Mayberry plays first, which is the plan until Ryan Howard comes back.
Yeah, I think he's in a battle with Pasednik right now, too.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, Nix is going to play out there a little bit maybe, depending on, you know, his health and how he feels. So that's what they do right now, as you said earlier, Tom. They, you know, you kind of move guys around. Good curveball there. You kind of move guys around and see what positions they can play, or if you look at them and say, nah, he can't play there. I'm not even going to think about it later on.
Well, Charlie obviously has some options coming into spring. 0-2 the count to Matt Young as Lee steps off. Tigers picked up Matt Young from the Atlanta Braves during this offseason. 0 for 5 this spring, and he may have just hit into a double play. Galvis to Rollins, and the 4-6-3 double play. 2 shortstops getting it rolling up the middle for the Phils. Cliff Lee, a much easier inning here in the second. We go to the bottom of the second. Friday, April 13th at 7:05, the Phillies and the Mets will get together at Citizens Bank Park. It's part of a 3-game series that includes Turkey Hill Kids Opening Day, a free Charlie Manuel commemorative baseball for fans 14 and under. On Sunday the 15th, fans receive the Expedex 2012 schedule magnet. That's also the day that the Phillies will pay tribute to Jackie Robinson. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets for that 3-game series. Here's Jim Thome. We may be a day away from playing first base in a game. DHing today, and he fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1. The Tigers know Thome very well, and they have 3 infielders on the right side of the diamond against him, as usually is the case.
At the Ryan Howard shift on,
which was first the Jim Thome shift.
Right.
There it is. Ryan Rayburn's in shallow right, and Andy Dirks is, I guess you could say, in deep right. The right fielder. Porcello's fastball. Thome lays off. It's 1-2. Jim is 3 for 13 in the spring. Still looking for his first spring training home run. But he's hit the ball hard.
Yeah, he's come close. He hit the wall yesterday. He hit a ball with top spin on it. Looked like it had a chance to be a home run when he hit it, and then it came down in a hurry.
It's that one back toward the middle. Ramon Santiago makes the play, but he's probably sitting there with his heart moving a mile a minute. Anybody hit that ball hard.
He has hit some hard outs this spring. You know, we don't know what's going to happen with Jim Thome, but one thing you can see is he can still swing the bat a little bit. And you hope when the regular season starts, it'll be able to get him enough at bats. That baby is just scalded, and there's no way Santiago had time to take that to the side. That had him lined up from the minute it left the bat, and he had to stand in front of it, and he didn't want to.
One away. John Mayberry's there. Mayberry 4 for 19 in the spring. Playing center field today. We mentioned Shane Victorino's over in Tampa as the Phillies have a split squad. That game is scoreless through 2. Kyle Kendrick has pitched well in his first 2 innings. A couple strikeouts. 2-0 the count. Mayberry last year 15 home runs, 49 runs batted in, as he emerged as a bona fide everyday player for the Phillies. Lays off a high pitch. It's 3-1.
Well, he's going to get a chance this year to see if he can be an everyday player in the league. I think, you know, he's going to have enough at bats that you're going to find out a lot about him.
One advantage he has is that he's so good defensively.
Right.
Not only at first base, but also in the outfield.
He has no liabilities late in a game, and that's your point where you'd have to defense for him, do those kind of things, and get him out of the game.
You can also put up with some struggles early on, I would think, because of his defense. It's that one the opposite way. It's going to sneak in for a base hit.
Well, if he can make contact, you know, he can do some things. And said he's at that age right now where you're going to. I think this is the year you find out what kind of player John Mayberry is once and for all.
Well, he has the second hit of the day for the Phillies. The other thing he can do is he can run. He had 8 stolen bases last year. Here's Lance Nix. Nix now 31 years old. Contract this offseason with the Phillies after 1 year in Washington. His last 3 years in the big leagues, Nix has hit 35 home runs. That one's on the hands. A looper to center field. Coming on is Thomas, and he makes the catch.
This guy can get in the kitchen. His ball really runs.
Tigers have their first 4 pitchers in the rotation pretty much set. It's that 5th spot that they're still playing with. In fact, that's why Jim Leyland is not here today. Leyland's in Kissimmee because one of their top prospects, Drew Smiley, is pitching in Kissimmee, and he's battling for that 5th spot as Pete Orr swings through the first pitch from Porcello. It's 0-1. You have a front three of Verlander, Porcello, and Max Scherzer. And Lloyd McClendon, the hitting coach, who's the acting manager today. Mayberry goes. Pitch is taken inside. Laird's throw in time. He had a great release. Caught stealing is John Mayberry. Phillies quiet here in the second. We move on to the third. Tigers on top as we go to the top of the third here at Bright House Field. This is the 66th year that the Phillies and the city of Clearwater have been partners. And first the Phillies were at Jack Russell Stadium, and now they're here at Bright House Field. And Mary Haven from Visit St. Pete Clearwater joins us now. Mary was with us last year, and I'll tell you, Mary, the weather this year is better than last year, but it seems like there's a lot of activity going on.
I ordered it specifically
Very nice
today,
of you.
and what a beautiful day looking out here at the crowd, a near sellout crowd at Bright House Field. So we're thrilled to be here and partnering with you guys again.
I mentioned it's the 66th year. I mean, is that remarkable? I mean, for us, it's remarkable to think about that.
It's remarkable, and I think just every year it just keeps growing and getting better in the fan base. And what's great about the Philly fans is that they're very loyal and they travel with the team. So, like I said, you can count on the Phillies fans every single year to come down, stay in the hotels, eat in the restaurants, rent the cars, and, you know, definitely partake in all the great things in Clearwater, which is, you know, the official spring training home of the Phillies.
That's right. Well, the Fanatic certainly enjoyed his trip here.
Oh, yeah. The Fanatic is the best.
Ramon Santiago fouls the second pitch back from Lee, so it's no balls and 2 strikes. Did you hear any reports from anybody about the Fanatic roaming around town, going from place to place?
We hear all kinds of reports. I'm not at liberty to discuss the personal, goings-on of the Fanatic.
We just try to keep him out of handcuffs when he's here.
Yes. We always say a little bit of controversy never hurt anybody.
Well, Santiago's aboard to start this third, and there he is. Down near Clearwater Beach, on the beach itself.
Yep, going over to Frenchie's and the Palm Pavilion, which are 2 of our great premier restaurants, and they're right there on Clearwater Beach. Unbelievable.
Well, that's that right there, the beach itself and the sunset is what folks talk about a lot.
Yeah, the pier at Pier 60. If you want a real treat, go out there, grab your cocktail, your fresh seafood, and just relax. It's the whitest sand you have ever seen.
Well, it's been beautiful.
Had a we live over in San Key. We stay over there, and last night there was a bagpiper down there for the sunset. So that was really neat to listen.
Yeah, we have some of the most incredible sunsets around, and the great thing about it is like record sunshine in the area. Look at this winter we're having here. Don't you feel sorry for us?
Oh, it's great. So, well, we've had a mild one, so to speak, up in the Philadelphia area, which has been great too. Well, if folks want to find out more about the area itself, go to visit stpclearwater.com, and you got a contest that's rolling right now.
Yeah, we have a great contest, so get to your computers right now and go to landinsand.com.
There you go, right
airfare,
there.
Landinsand.com. It's airfare for 7 nights at the beautiful Sand Pearl Resort on Clearwater Beach, a rental car, and while you're here, tickets to our best attractions.
There's a roller to short, Rollins to Galvis. That's the second double play of the game for Cliff Lee. Well, here's the graphic that we were talking about, and if you haven't been to the Sand Pearl, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I guess you're calling it thaw out and chill out.
Yeah, thaw out and chill out. But get down here while the weather's still good, and we're looking forward to seeing the Phillies fans here real soon.
You know, something that's been getting a lot of publicity lately is the great movie that was made down here over the aquarium with the dolphin involved.
Yeah, Winter the Dolphin has gotten an amazing response, and the attendance has increased 600% from when A Dolphin Tale came out. We're actually shooting another movie here. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's called Spring Breakers with Selena Gomez and James Franco.
Did not.
So lots of celebrity sightings. Of course, my own celebrity sighting, and you guys. But,
oh yeah.
You know, I wish. I can only hope for. But you know, we have a lot of celebrities in the area on a regular basis, and they love it.
That's great. Now, what are some of the other attractions that folks may not know aside from baseball?
One of the great attractions going on now is the Golf Championship, the PGA Golf Tour, coming here this week. The Transitions Championship coming here this week to Innisbrook Resort, just a stone's throw away from here, as well as the Honda Grand Prix of St. Pete in a couple weeks. And then, of course, the Big East Baseball Championship in May, which is going to be played right here in Bright House Field.
All right, now, I don't know if you know this or not, Mary, but Wheels is playing in the Pro-Am tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Is it tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
And I wasn't invited. How dare you?
I don't know how I was invited, Mary. But it's pretty much a thrill to be able to go over there and do that tomorrow.
If I can be your caddy, I can only wish.
Thank you.
Well, here's Delman Young after Cabrera singles, and Young takes a strike, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. Well, the Fanatic actually was asked first, but then we decided to put Wheels in his place.
Wheels is the best.
We'll have to try and go over there and not embarrass the organization tomorrow. That's all.
But stuff like that, I mean, it's great to have that kind of an event, the Grand Prix, all those things in this area.
Yeah, it's one thing after the next, and like I said, there's never a dull moment here between the movies being filmed, the spring training teams here, you know, and the Phillies, and of course the Blue Jays are here right around the corner in Dunedin, and Canada's a huge market for us, but you know, we've been seeing record attendance at the games and as well as in the destination. So we encourage you to get online at visitstpclearwater.com, see what we have to offer, which is amazing, and book your room now.
Well, we do a lot of promotions for Clearwater. I've been lucky enough to come down. This is my 40th spring training.
Oh, wow.
So I can remember when north of here was just orange groves.
Oh, goodness.
And now, you know, it's just there was no Sand Key or all those places. So this is just a remarkable area.
Yeah, and our beaches, we're known for the beaches, award-winning beaches, 35 miles of spectacular sand, crystal clear waters, boating, fishing, outdoors. A lot of people don't know about the Pinellas Trail right around the corner from here. 37 miles. You can ride your bike, drop in and off of the trail. Great restaurants along the way. I'm a big outdoors person, whether you know it or not. Wake up at 4:30 in the morning.
Really?
Yeah, I do all the outdoor stuff. When all the outdoors riders and guys come, you know, and the folks
You're
come
the
down
guide.
here, I'm the guide that comes down here. So you're never at a loss for anything.
Well, we certainly have enjoyed it, and obviously you said the record crowds, and this place has just been packed the last few years. It's remarkable, the attendance that the Phillies have enjoyed, and obviously it's the fans, it's the people in the area, but this place has just been, it's been remarkable.
Yeah, and one of the great things is our art and culture scene in downtown St. Pete, which is about 20 minutes from here, the Dali Museum, the only comprehensive collection of the artwork outside of Spain. We get worldwide attendance for that. And if you haven't been down on Beach Drive lately, it's something to see with all the people watching in the restaurants. Very European feel.
Runner goes, and the pitch is fouled away by Delman Young.
When we were down here a few years ago in Interleague play, we got to stay at the Vinoy.
Yes.
So we were able to take advantage of that. Of course, in the World Series in 2008, we were able to do the beach walk, and there are some wonderful places over there.
Yeah, my joke is one of my first baseball games was the World Series game.
Not a bad first game, though.
So I feel very honored to represent the destination and, you know, go to a lot of these games, definitely.
Well, Cliff Lee picks up the strikeout. Mary, thank you as always. Thanks for everything.
Yes, don't forget to go to landinsand.com to win your trip here, and we're looking forward to seeing you, and we thank you, all you Phillies fans, for all your loyalty through the years.
All right, we go to the bottom of the third. Brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Been a lot of talk around baseball today because of all the great pitchers that are throwing today, including Cliff Lee, Rick Porcello here in Clearwater. CC Sabathia is pitching up in Tampa. The list goes on and on. Very busy day around Major League Baseball today, as is the case every spring training day, as Pete Orr leads it off against Rick Porcello. Phillies have 2 hits and no runs so far. Not the same kind of start for spring training as Pete Orr had last year, 0 for 10. And he gets his first base hit just like that. The leadoff single, 3rd hit of the day for the Phils.
You can tell the action this guy has on his pitches. They haven't been able to center many today. Getting a lot of balls off the end of the bat and the thumbs because Porcello has good stuff.
Friday, April 27th, the Phillies begin a 4-game series with the Chicago Cubs. Sunday is the Fanatics' birthday, a free Fanatic Bank for fans 14 and under. And then it wraps up with a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night on Monday, April 30th. Go to Phillies.com to pick up your tickets. Brian Schneider, the batter. And Schneider lines one in left center field. He has his first base hit of the spring. Look at Pete Orr. He can run with the best of them, and he'll get to third sliding. That's really good base running. The play was right in front of him. It was all his decision.
Yeah, Brian Schneider with the base hit there. He's a guy that doesn't run all that well. And he did take a look just to see if maybe he could move at second base because they don't cut this throw off. Here's the ball lined into left center field. Now Orr, as Tom says, has a play right in front of him, so it's whatever he wants to do. Now a lot of times when you make a mistake like that, and Cabrera bobbles it too, the runner can move into second on that play. But you know, Brian does the right thing there because he's not fast, and the last thing you want to do is get thrown out there for the first out of the inning.
That means the Phillies have the first 2 batters on for Freddie Galvis, who was 5 for 17 this spring, and he loops one toward left center field, and what a catch by Cleet Thomas. Orr tagged from third. He'll score. It turns out to be a sacrifice fly for Freddie Galvis. Phillies are on the board, but it could have been a whole lot more if not for that catch.
Yeah, this is a really nice play by Thomas. Freddie Galvis goes down, hits it into the gap in left center field, and that looked like it was going to dunk in there, get by him for extra bases.
Austin Jackson will be the starting center fielder for the Tigers this year. With Cleet Thomas trying to find his way onto the roster for Detroit.
Austin Jackson's an interesting case because he's such a good athlete, but they're just trying to find some way to stop him from striking out so much.
I think the same thing, and I could be wrong. Wasn't that the same case with Curtis Granderson when he began with the Tigers, where he'd strike out a little bit more than most people? As Jimmy Rollins takes a pitch high?
Well, yeah, when you're thinking about a guy batting leadoff, you know, the strikeouts really jump out at you because you have a low on-base percentage.
Jackson hitting .286 this year so far in the spring. Rollins chops it to first. Don Kelly makes the play at first. The throw is wide of second, so Schneider's safe.
Well, Jimmy's done that 2 games in a row with a runner on at first base, where he's trying to do the right thing, pull the ball, and get it by the first baseman, and both times they've jumped up high in the air and made plays on it. Happened here yesterday, and happens again. Now, this should be a double play because, see, Brian Schneider's barely off right there. He steps on, then makes a poor throw. Oh, Brian did a nice job running a little down and out there to get away. See, you can get away with that. You're a veteran player. That was smart base running.
Now Juan Pierre, who struck out his only time up. Pierre hits it back to the middle. What a play by Porcello on the glove side. And the side is retired. The Phillies do get a run on the sac fly by Freddie Galvis. Juan Pierre thought he may have tied this ball game up, but Rick Porcello, quick with the glove. Back here at Bright House Field, the Tigers on top 2-1. Cliff Lee is done after 3, and he's down with Greg Murphy. Murph, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. And yeah, certainly when you're working in spring training, I think Doc said it the other day, it's more about seeing progress each and every time out. So did you see progress from your last start?
Yeah, I mean, I felt good. My location wasn't as good as I would like for it to be, but still early. Physically, I feel good, and building up the pitch count, heading in the right direction. It's good.
When you're working out there, are you working individually on different pitches? Are you working on location, or does the location just come with time?
Everything. I'm working on everything. I'm trying to locate fastballs and work on mixing my off-speed pitches in there. I mean, that's a never-ending deal, but early it's a little more rusty usually, so there's more work to do. But it's a never-ending process. But right now I'm just trying to build up arm strength and get to where I can locate.
Always more work to be done. Thanks, Cliff. I appreciate it. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you. 50 pitches for Cliff Lee today. Pitched 2 innings scoreless against Dunedin, or against the Blue Jays his last time out. And now 3 innings, 2 runs here. He'll turn it over to Chad Qualls, one of the new Phillies. And Qualls will pitch at least here in the 4th inning. Qualls pitched in 2 games so far. He's allowed 3 hits in 2 innings. He pitched very good his last time out, coming off a year in which he appeared in 77 games with the Padres at a 3.51 earned run average. He'll face Andy Dirks to lead it off, Gerald Laird and Don Kelly. 5, 6, and 7 for the Tigers. Sarge is settling in up here in the booth, and we're settling in for the top of the 4th on PHL 17. First time up for Dirks. He struck out looking. One of those 3 strikeouts that Lee recorded.
The league talked about that arm strength, and the only way you get that is by pitching more innings. You'll build it up to where you just about go 7 innings, I would think. No, these guys they have on this team, though, they got to kind of hold back because they really like to go forward and get their jobs done.
3-0 the count to Andy Dirks.
Got to have location. Don't have location. Major league hitters will take advantage of that.
And ball 4. So Qualls walks Dirks on 4 pitches. On Monday, April 2nd, the Phillies and the Pittsburgh Pirates will begin a 2-game on-deck series at Citizens Bank Park. It's the last 2 exhibition games before the Phillies head to Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates in the regular season. On Monday, all fans will receive the IBEW Local 98 Jim Thome print. And then Tuesday, all fans will get the Expedex 2012 schedule magnet. Merchandise discounts during the game, alumni autograph opportunities. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. There's Gerald Laird. He takes it on the inside corner, 0-1. Laird fly to center, his first time up. Tigers scored their 2 runs on a 2-run home run by Ryan Rayburn in the first.
Lloyd McClendon, their hitting coach, talked about how many runs they were going to score this year. Thought they'd be able to score a bundle for their pitchers.
I guess when you have those 2 cornermen at first and third, Prince Fielder and Miguel Cabrera, that's got to make you feel pretty good. There's a pop-up into foul territory. Lance Nix, the first baseman, makes the call. So 1 away. Don Kelly's the hitter. But, you know, I guess the Tigers are more than Fielder and Cabrera. That's a great cornerstone.
Absolutely. Young kid, Brennan Bosch. This kid here is going to be one heck of a player. Have him scheduled to hit second, I believe, in their lineup, the way Lloyd was talking, in front of Cabrera. That means that he will get a lot of fastballs because they're not going to want to pinch to any of those kids there. Making sure they actually pitch to them, I should say. Cabrera is an error there, maybe, by J-Roll.
That ball got away, and well, there's an error in judgment, and nobody went to get that ball.
Yeah.
The Tigers have runners on first and third.
Thought he could have maybe got up a little bit quicker to get to that. You know, a lot of times you come so accustomed to him just actually picking that ball. Ball hit in the hole, and see how that ball kind of just came up on the heel a little bit, but somebody's got to be able to go and get it. By the time J-Roll does that, well, to no avail.
Yeah, Pedor had to go back and cover third, and Pierre was back in left field. So it's a hit. Now the Tigers have first and third with 1 out. 7th hit already for Detroit. Here's Cleat Thomas. Phillies set up for 2. And Thomas chops it towards short. Might be 2. Tough hop for Rollins. There's 1. They're not going to get 2. And a run scores. Phillies trying to turn their 3rd double play of the ball game.
Yeah, ball just not hit hard enough. And have been a little bit lower, a little bit harder. May have been able to get 2. Take a look at it. There's that high hop. Didn't catch it very cleanly and got off to a good throw, but by then too late.
So 3-1 Tigers. They had a 2-0 lead. The Phillies scored their run in the bottom of the 3rd. Now the Tigers have scored here in the 4th as Matt Young chops it to Pete Orr 3rd, and the side is retired. Tigers score 1 quickly here in the 4th. They leave 1. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Tigers up by 2. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Quality Plus Sports Stores. Bright sunshiny afternoon here in Clearwater, Florida. The Tigers on top 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Cliff Lee pitched 3 innings for the Phillies. Rick Porcello, the starter for the Tigers, is about to begin his 4th inning of work. And he'll face Hunter Pence, Jim Thome, and John Mayberry Jr. Pence grounded into a double play his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. 5 for 18 on the year, or in the spring, I should say. By the way, in Tampa, Kyle Kendrick, his outing is complete. He went 3 scoreless innings. Struck out 2 as Pence lines one down the left field line. It's a fair ball. He'll get at least 2 out of this one. So he's in scoring position right out of the chute here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, you throw him anything near the plate, a fastball or anything else, he's going to be hacking. Take a look at that location. Something maybe a little bit off speed. Kept his hands back, goes right through the ball, just rifled it right into left field. Look how it ricochets around. Very aggressive hitter.
So he's in scoring position now for Thome, who hit the ball hard up the middle his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Phillies have 5 hits today against Porcello, and Thome hits it again up the middle. That moves Pence over to third. 1 out. Runner on third. Greg Murphy's got a report on Dominic Brown. Murph?
All right, T-Mac. Talking to Dom Brown back here in the left field corner. He's stretching out a little bit. Of course, he sprained his thumb last Monday. Has not been in any action since then. I got a chance to talk to him. I said, are you close? How you feeling? He said, I feel real good. In fact, he said he may even get into this ball game after Jim Thome is done. But if not today, he expects to play this week as well. So good news, Dom Brown working his way back from that injury, guys.
Yeah, Murph, you and I were watching batting practice today, and Dom Brown was taking the BP. He looked pretty good. So as we said, the MRI was negative on that thumb, just a little swelling. And I thought he looked pretty good taking batting practice today before the ball game.
Well, as long as he's icing it down, and I'm sure he's doing that, doesn't have too much swelling, he should be able to grip the bat in order to swing. It's the most difficult thing, being able to feel comfortable with the bat and gripping it, where you can go through the ball there when you're up at the plate.
Tigers play the infield back with a runner on third. And the pitch is hit toward third. Cabrera has it. Pence will score. RBI for Mayberry. 2 outs. And it's again a 1-run ball game. Get him over, get him in. With the middle of the order up, you might want to try to get a big inning, but the Phillies at least have accomplished get him over, get him in.
Well, that's exactly what they've been preaching in order to do. Positive out by Jim Thome as he hits the ball and making sure that the runner's able to advance, and then you end up getting a RBI without getting a hit. That's what you really like to do. I mean, obviously you want the hit, but if not, that RBI, any time those 3, 4, 5 guys can get that RBI, which they call a steak, they'll take that any day of the week.
Here's Jim chatting with Charlie Manuel. Contact.
Yeah, he could have got a little better pitch or got it up, but, Jim is an aggressive hitter. And he did do the job.
1 ball, 1 strike the count to Lance Nix with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
That's what the Detroit hitters were doing in batting practice, getting them over, getting them in. And Lloyd right there, hitting coach. If they didn't do it right, they have to do it again.
Lance Nix with a base hit to right. Andy Dirks is playing so deep, there's no shot of that ball going to the wall. So 6 hits for the Phillies. And the inning remains alive for Pete Orr.
So you can see how the games are starting to go more and more. Hitters are starting to make more solid contact. You actually hear a lot of those hits now up in the booth.
Couldn't hear him before?
Well, no, they had little crack sounds to them.
I thought your window might have been closed.
Oh, boy. It's too early on, just a bad feeling when you know you should be able to handle some of those pitches and you aren't.
Outside 2-0. How many at-bats does it usually take to feel better at the plate?
I would think close to, I want to say 70 or so, depending on the hitter, what kind of hitter that He is. You're trying to build up the callus in your hands and making sure that when you do get jammed that, you know, it's not going to be able to bother you.
All right, so we're not near 70 for any of the guys.
No, not at all. And different guys, sometimes guys, you know, they would come up and tell a manager, I think I'm going to need about 80, 90 at-bats during spring training. Some guys, like Cabrera, doesn't need that.
3-1 the count to Orr. Orr singled and scored the first run for the Phillies, trying to get on to get Brian Schneider to the plate. That ball almost seemed like a cut with a count 3-1.
Well, you can almost tell when a batter swings at a particular pitch what kind of pitch it is. Well, that slider breaking in on him from the right-hander. He trying to pull those hands in just like that.
Well, Pedor's still alive. The count 3-2. Knicks have been going on the pitch, so he'll go back to first. He's not being held on. Don Kelly, the first baseman, playing behind him. Ball four, so the Phillies do have 2 base runners. They've already scored a run here in the 4th. Brian Schneider will get a chance to hit. He singled his first time up. Rick Porcello might be near the end of this outing. They were probably trying to get him through this 4th inning. He's only thrown 46 pitches, which isn't bad, with 2 outs here in the 4th. Daniel Schlereth is throwing in the pen for the Tigers, guy they got last offseason from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Schneider ahead, 1 ball, no strikes.
Starting to labor just a little bit, not as aggressive in the zone. Starting to nibble here and there. That's when pitchers get into problems.
Brian Schneider was re-signed this past offseason to a 1-year contract after 2 previous years with the Phillies. Played in 41 games a year ago. And the count is in his favor, 2-1.
Well, Carlos Ruiz will get the bulk of the duty, and Brian definitely will get some time, get some at bats. The way that Charlie uses the guys.
Not the 2-1 pitch that he was looking for.
Nope.
Strike 3 on the inside part of the plate. The Phillies lead 2. They do get 1. It's a 1-run game as we go to the 5th. Monday, May 21st, the Phillies and the Washington Nationals will meet at Citizens Bank Park, a 3-game series. Another Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. That'll be Tuesday the 22nd. All 3 games at 7:05. Check out Phillies.com not only for that series, but also all of the games coming up, including the on-deck series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. 4 in the books, on to the 5th here at Bright House Field. Tigers up by 1, 3-2. That kind of day. A lot of sunshine. Nice breeze coming in from right field. The berm all filled up out in the outfield. And Jonathan Papelbon is ready to go. 3rd appearance of the spring for Papelbon. He's basically been pitching here in the 5th. 4-1 with a 2.94 earned run average. 31 saves last year. 2 strikeouts and 2 innings of work so far this spring. And he will face the top of the Tigers order. No changes for Detroit as of yet. Well, he's looked good so far, Sarge, I think, anyway.
Oh, yeah, and the temperament that he has and coming out and getting batters out. And let's face it, their closer, it's got to be a special guy. One that, obviously, that's going to forget because you have to right away. Usually that next night, you're right back on the horse again. And you have a lot to do with your team winning and losing.
Well, the Phillies are very optimistic about the back end of their bullpen. Jose Contreras threw another batting practice the other day, and he is just about ready to get into games. That's a big deal. First pitch is lined to right by Santiago. He has 3 hits in this ball game. So Papelbon is in here, and at some point we could get a chance to see Philippe Almond.
Yeah, which would be great. Looking forward to seeing him. A very hard thrower, getting that ball up to about 96. His only thing will be control. If he has that, he should probably end up having a spot on this club.
And I guess secondary pitches too.
Well, you need those, but again, you have to be able to throw that fastball where you want, both sides of the plate, preferably, especially when you're in the bullpen.
Here's Ryan Rayburn. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. What have you liked about Papelbon in the games that you've seen? And we've watched him on TV for the last few years.
Knowing him for so long, this guy is an intimidator, meaning that he'll look at you out there on the mound. He doesn't give in a lot, and you like his temperament. Not only that, being in Boston, he's done it before. So he's not going to be in awe coming into Philadelphia. He's going to really relish that in being able to do the thing that he's doing. And obviously, they have accepted him in here, and he's quite the practical joker, by the way.
He play any practical jokes on you?
No, not yet. He doesn't know me well enough to do that. I like it from afar, letting some of the other guys go through that.
He didn't steal your car like Bob Uecker?
Oh, boy, that's not funny.
1-1 the count. Runner goes, pitches, called it inside the third base bag, down the left field line. Santiago will go to third. Now he's being waved home by Phil Nevin. He's going to score. The ball just died in short left field as it caromed off that half wall. It's an RBI double for Ryan Rayburn.
He's looking at the play all the way. Third base coach Phil Nevin. And he knows even once Juan Pierre gets the ball because of his arm that not going to have a good chance in actually throwing him out. Very aggressive there, Phil Nevin. Well, running on that play, and that is just a bullet. They teach you, hey, don't have to necessarily hit that ball to right field. There he comes in. Too late now. He scampers across home plate.
So 4-2 Tigers. Miguel Cabrera, who is 2 for 2 today, is now the hitter with a runner in scoring position. Cabrera making the transition over to third base this year, where he played 387 games earlier in his career. But he's been basically a first baseman or, sometimes a DH for Detroit. He dropped 20 pounds or so in the offseason to slim himself down to play over at third and be a little quicker. Hits one the opposite way. Lance Nix will take it to the bag. The runner moves over to third.
See, there's just another quality in that. That's why Cabrera is just such a good hitter. You talk about on-base percentage and walks. Well, you're going to walk a guy like Cabrera because you fear him. Guys like, say, a Pete Orr, they're going to keep coming right at him. Difficult for him to take pitches because he's got to be more aggressive. Pitchers aren't going to be as careful with a Pete Orr as they would be with a Cabrera.
Well, now the infield in for Delman Young. Phil's down by 2, trying to slow the Tigers down here in the top of the 5th. And Young fouls it away. It's 0-1.
Delman Young probably hit 5th in the lineup when the season starts, according to Lloyd McClendon, the hitting coach. But he likes what he sees with Young. A hit behind Prince Fielder, you got to be a pretty good hitter.
Roller to third. Orr looks the runner back. 2 outs.
Good play by Pete, looking that runner back. That's what I'm meaning about Papelbon, just not really giving in. That ball in on the hands there. And these guys, they're experimenting, getting their pitch count up too, and Papelbon, and making sure that he'll be sharp when the season starts.
First pitch to Andy Dirks is fouled at the plate. It's 0-1. One of the things that they've said about Papelbon is that he's a little quicker to the plate here in spring training than he was last year with Boston. He was kind of deliberate, but as you mentioned last time, he hides the ball so well that may even play into a strength for him if he's a deliberate guy and takes his time, because hitters are waiting, and then boom, the pitch is right on him.
Well, you just can't see it. You know, the longer that you're able to see the pitch coming out of the pitcher's hands, the easier it is for you to hit. Well, when he hides it, and then with the variety of different pitches, that's where the difficulty comes in and hitting.
1 ball, 1 strike the count to Dirks. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Picture that was a fastball. You can see the movement on it as the ball tailed away from him. And it gives you that big wind up. He throws the glove at you first, then the hand comes through.
Got that one in on the hands, down the left field line and out of play. Rayburn goes back to third. Tigers have scored a run here in the 5th on an RBI double by Rayburn against Jonathan Papelbon. Again, he got it into the hands of Andy Dirks.
Yeah, that was just almost self-defense on that swing. Take a look and look at the location. That's how you like to judge. Look how high, though, the pitch is. And got to give him credit, though. His eyes right on the ball as it comes in.
Over to second base. Freddie Galvis to a knee, has plenty of time. Tigers do score a run against Papelbon on 2 hits. They leave 1. Middle of the 5th. Detroit up by 2.
The crowds are
with a 2012 publication subscription. You can find out everything you want to know about Scott Ellerton in these subscriptions. A Phillies media guide, a yearbook, photo card set, and all 6 issues of Phillies magazine, plus a free 2012 Phillies wall calendar. Items are shipped individually as they become available. To place an order, call toll-free 877-GO-PHILS or visit the fan section at Phillies.com. Scott Ellerton pitched had a great outing yesterday. Allowed just 1 run in 4 innings of work. It was a home run. Daniel Schlereth is the new pitcher for the Tigers. He'll take over for Rick Porcello, who went 4 innings this afternoon and allowed 6 Phillies hits and 2 runs. Schlereth last year, in his first year in the American League, 49 games, a 3.49 earned run average. Former first-round pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks. 2 innings so far, 3 strikeouts. This spring for Schlereth. And he'll face Freddie Galvis, Jimmy Rollins, Juan Pierre. Phillies have a game going on here, and they have a game going on up in Tampa against the Yankees that Kyle Kendrick started. He went 3 scoreless innings to begin that one against the Yankees.
Yeah, those split squads, usually the veteran players, when they have the split squads, they like to be the one that would have that home game. Usually you'll play a few more innings simply because you're splitting up your players, and you get players that come back or players that are doing well in the minor league. So it's always really nice, and when you're playing good in the minor leagues, that you get a chance to come up and show what you can do in the major leagues.
Freddie Galvis was one of those guys just a couple years ago. Now he's enjoying another spring with the big club. So far today, he's got a sacrifice fly. He's ahead 1 ball and no strikes.
No, times have changed because they used to play a lot of those games, call them B games, play those games early in the morning, like around 9 o'clock or so.
Yeah, every once in a while we'll still see them, but not as often as, let's say, when you played.
No, that's because of the split squads. They're treated more or less as a regular game. Still have to have 4 to 5 major league players, though, in your lineup.
2-1 the count. Yeah, up in Tampa, Ty Wigginton is playing today. Shane Victorino is playing this afternoon. Of course, Kyle Kendrick started for the Phillies. 2-2 the count to Galvis.
I like the way Kyle is really trying to make the team, taking nothing for granted. He's just such a likable kid. Does have that sinker, changeup that he's come out with. A lot more experience, a slide piece too.
That was the pitch the other day that Carlos Ruiz talked about. He said that it was particularly against Jose Bautista. As Charlie's chatting with Brian Schneider in the dugout. Carlos Ruiz said Kyle Kendrick is starting to throw that ball at the right-handed hitters, and then it cuts back. That one didn't cut back, and Galvis is hit by a pitch, and he's aboard to start the 5th.
Well, he's got to have that, though. Kyle's got to have that pitch that breaks away from him. This ball here, almost like just a missile as it keeps coming in and hits him up near the thigh area, it looked to be.
Galvis will stretch himself out. He'll go to first base. He's aboard. And back to the top of the order for Jimmy Rollins.
Almost impossible to get out of the way of a ball that starts in that area and it just keeps coming at you.
That conversation's still going on. Could be about any number of things.
I'd have to think that it's probably about some hitting, location, maybe some of the pitches.
Rollins takes outside, 1-0. Rollins 1 for 2. Hit the ball hard his last time up, but grounded out to first.
Yeah, he's been coming around, starting to hit the ball harder, a little bit more consistent. What I like about him, though, he's been taking that high fastball. I'm accustomed to him swinging at that pitch. He's shown a lot more patience for me at the plate so far this spring.
There's some managers that don't want to have a conversation during a game, but then there's Charlie, who will talk to anybody about hitting. 3-0 the count to Rollins.
this for me would almost be automatic take, especially, you know, when you're down in the count, or I should say down by the runs.
Well, ball 4. The Phillies have the first 2 batters aboard here in the 5th. So Dan Schlereth struggling somewhat with his command. And Gerald Laird goes out. So does the Tigers pitching coach for today. Goes out to settle him down a little bit, give him a moment to kind of collect himself. Well, we are here at Bright House Field in Clearwater, Florida. Gorgeous afternoon. Sold out crowd once again, more than 10,000 on hand.
Yeah, just beautiful. We'll get a chance to see what kind of style that this pitching coach has, because he'll tell him to throw. Usually, again, it'll be that fastball, whether or not it's on the in or the outside part of the plate. And they'll go out. Just give him kind of a little bit of a breather.
Juan Pierre, the hitter, he bunts the first pitch in the air. Kind of expected that with runners on first and second. And nobody out. But Pierre would try to bunt Galvis and Rollins into scoring position.
Yeah, well, need a little better pitch. That's a fastball running in at him. Even as good a bunter as Juan is, very difficult to get on top of that ball and to get it down.
Pierre squares again, bunts it foul. That's not going to make him happy.
No.
And he's a happy guy.
He's a better bunter than that, too. Don't think, though, that he'll be bunting right now. Now, take a look at this. Almost a little bit too quickly. You see there where he was out in front, but maybe not out in front enough with his bat angle. Again, Juan is usually the type of guy that can just about bunt any pitcher.
He waits for that curveball and lifts it foul. It's 0-2. Pierre's 0 for 2 today. Struck out in the first, grounded out. Back to the mound his last time up on a nice play by Rick Porcello. Porcello went the first 4. Now Schlereth is here in the 5th. 0-2 the count. Pierre bunts, foul, so he's down on strikes. I think he was trying to use the element of surprise.
Yeah.
And because he is such a good bunter.
Just no air, though,
no room for error
at all, because if you don't get it down, it's an automatic strikeout. You know, with his speed, for me, I'd rather go on and try and take a chance of him being able to get that ball on the ground or trying to pull the ball. Don't think they're going to double up Juan Pierre.
Pierre last year, 19 sacrifice bunts. And the first pitch to Pence, swinging. And he swings over the top of a curveball, and it's 0-1. Pence doubled and scored his last time up, hit into a double play back in the first. Tigers scored 2 in the first, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. The Phillies with single runs in the fourth, or the third and fourth innings.
Well, he just takes a healthy cut. Whether or not it is a curveball or changeup, he's got the same type of swing on just about all the pitches there. Maximum effort. He gets that foot down. Check that out as he really follows through. Could have that head down a little bit more just to make sure you're looking at it.
Stays alive, just got a piece of it. Pence was saying today how good he feels right now. He said he had the hernia surgery after the regular season, and the postseason came to a close. He said he injured himself the first week of the year last year. 0-2 curveball. It's like old school right there.
That curveball coming in.
I say that because nowadays you get a splitter, cutter. You don't always get that 0-2 curveball. Another one. Call. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Schlereth.
I thought that ball might have been a little bit high there for me. Again, here, let's see exactly the location of that pitch.
Yeah, that's high.
Not only that, going around the plate.
Well, maybe by that angle it's not high, but it did look like it was outside.
Well, one of the things you know that Hunter Pence is not up there looking for a walk. So if it's around the dish, she's going to be swinging.
Jim Tomey's 0 for 2 today. Runners on first and second. And it's 1-0. We have the benefit of watching some of the drills that go on in the small field, which is adjacent to Bright House Field. Jim was out there today taking ground balls from Sam Perlazzo. A lot of times you see Jim on a chair taking ground balls, but there was no chair.
Yeah.
He was taking ground balls from Sam and also taking throws from Freddie Galvis.
Yeah, working on his feet work, and you got to have that when you play first base.
Outside 2-1.
And then he has somebody throwing over the first, so now you get used to somebody really being able to pop that ball to you at first base. And Jim said that it was going to be a slow process because it's a faster game once you go over to first base. A little bit different when you haven't been over there for a while.
Schlereth doesn't throw many fastballs, but he just threw one there, and Tomey takes it for strike 2. 2-2 the count. Oh, it is a slower game, even if it's only marginal in the minor leagues, and that's why he'll begin playing first base in the minor leagues first before he comes over here to the big field. And that could be sometime in the next couple days. Lines one towards center field. That'll be a base hit. Galvis will score. Rollins stops at second. An RBI single for Tomey. Phillies are back within 1.
Nice 2-out clutch hit there by Jim Tomey. Lefty against lefty. Stays right on it. Line drive type of hit. Not hit very hard, but really pretty good placement as he drives that ball. Anytime you can get a hit with 2 outs, you know that you're doing good. He stayed right on it, head down on it, against that front foot.
Well, that's probably going to be it for Dan Schlereth. So Tomey's base hit will prompt a pitching change, and it'll also prompt Tomey's exit from the game. Dominic Brown is going to come on a pinch run for Jim Tomey. We've got a pitching change and a new runner here at Bright House Field. It's for Fanatic fans 14 and under. The price is $12. Membership includes exclusive 2012 Fanatic MVP bobblehead, a Philly Fanatic dry erase board and poster, membership card, discounts, and email newsletters. Go to Phillies.com/MVP club or call 215-463-1000. The Fanatic visited the Clearwater Aquarium earlier in spring training and can do it all. If the Dolphins could see, you wonder what they would think.
Oh, boy.
Jose Ortega is the new pitcher for the Tigers. Dominic Brown is pinch running for Jim Thome at first. John Mayberry's the hitter. Rollins is at second. Brown is at first. And Mayberry hits one in the air to left field. Towering fly ball. Matt Young started back. Now he comes in, makes the catch. The Phillies are retired. They do get one, and they leave two.
A homeowner puts a mark on their home.
Four to three as we go to the top of the sixth inning here at Bright House Field, a gorgeous facility. Speaking of gorgeous facilities and gorgeous playing fields, Greg Murphy is with Phillies groundskeeper Mike Bucholder.
Yeah, that's right, T-Mac. You know, for me, every time I walk out in Citizens Bank Park, one of the best moments is when you see that bright green grass, and it is such a beautiful facility, as T-Mac said. And, Mike, you're responsible for that. And this year, this winter, some changes up in Philadelphia because a whole new grass system is coming in, right?
Yeah, we made the decision after the Winter Classic this offseason to go ahead and switch the playing surface to a hybrid Bermuda grass, similar to what we've got down here in Clearwater, and it's going to be a little different for us.
And we're taking a look at some of the photos from up in Philadelphia right now, and I got to imagine the winter that we had, and then obviously all the hard work that your crew puts in, it's in pretty good shape right now.
Well, you know, I've been telling everybody sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and we've certainly got a lot of help from the good Lord this year. So weather-wise, you couldn't have asked for a better season for us getting this grass put in after the Winter Classic. We actually had all the sod on the ground and the field completely rebuilt by about the 2nd of February. So we had the growth tarps down on it for about the last month, pulled those up this past Monday, and we're actually able to get it cut Monday and Tuesday and start fertilizing and get well on our way to having things ready for the April 2nd opener at the ballpark for the preseason game.
Should be ready to go. Mike, we appreciate your hard work. Enjoying himself down here, but got to get back to work in Philadelphia real soon, right?
It's not going to be fun to leave this weather. This is great.
It is pretty nice. We're getting some pretty good weather down here, but as you said, some good weather up in Philadelphia, helping things out at Citizens Bank Park. T-Mac, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. I was there a couple weeks ago, and it does look good. It's surprising how good it looks. Philippe Almont getting set for his 3rd spring training game. Last year, 7 saves, a 2.68 or 2.68 earned run average. And he will face Gerald Laird to start it off. Almont has a chance to make the Major League club this year. Fastball is in the mid to high 90s. And he is a tall drink of water for the hitters to deal with.
Well, he has the ability to be able to do just that, make the team. However, you have to throw strikes, and especially if you're in that 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. There's a good pitch. You can't afford to come in close games and start walking batters. The more experience he gets, the better he's going to be able to pitch.
Just missed down low, and it's 2-1.
Usually, though, if you can do it in Double-A, Triple-A, just a matter of time before you're able to do the same thing on a major league level, and especially as hard as he throws.
And as we mentioned, his size, 6'7", 260 pounds. 3-1 the count.
Kind of reminds you of J.R. Richard on that mound, as tall as he was. I think there's always an advantage, too. Don Drysdale, another guy that was pretty tall, especially back in the day. Mays and those guys used to talk about how intimidating he was on the mound.
Inside, ball 4. So Laird is aboard.
Those are the things that you're not going to be able to do, especially with late in the ball game, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Usually there's a pretty close lead. You start walking batters and getting base stealers on. See Rich Doobie telling him, hey, get set.
Kelly's the hitter, and Kelly takes a fastball for a strike.
Obviously, it was something that Rich Doobie and they had been really working on, and that's just, you know, a reminder. Hey, get set first, and then maybe go ahead on and throw.
So much of this game is about repeating mechanics as a hitter or as a pitcher. And that ball gets away from Brian Schneider and allowed Laird to go up to second. And when you have even a shift, a little bit of a shift in your mechanics, well, then it could throw everything else off.
The same as anything else, and especially when you're on the mound. And take a look at him as he throws that ball. He just whipped that ball there, almost leaving it in that hand too long. But he throws, again, so hard that he's going to have to be able to harness those pitches. Once he's able to do that now, oh boy, now you got a dandy.
Was that fastball low? Kelly had squared to try to move Laird over to third.
Hitters do not like facing guys this tall and guys that throw that hard.
They always said about Chris Young, the former major league pitcher, who I guess will try to make a comeback at some point at 6 foot. 6'11", 6'10", that his 87-mile-an-hour fastball seemed like it was 92 or 93. Well, I can only imagine what a 96-mile-an-hour fastball seems like at 6'7".
Yeah. See, though, again, there's that location, and then you become pretty predictable. As Rich Doobie, pitching coach, will go out to the mound and try and settle him down.
Well, that's a good point. Predictable, because they can lay off the off-speed stuff and just sit on a fastball, and you've got to be able to command all of it.
Yeah, and not only that, though, he's proved so far not being able to get one breaking ball over. So as a hitter, you throw that right out of the box there. You're going to look for that one pitch until he can prove to you that he can throw that breaking ball over the plate. And so far, hasn't been even close to throwing that for a strike. So expect for this pitch here to be a fastball, probably on the outside part of the plate. Let's see what Rich is going to do.
You know, the other piece to the trade, there were two other pieces to the trade. Tyson Gillies, an outfielder, and J.C. Ramirez, another pitcher. It seems like the Phillies are going to convert Ramirez into a relief pitcher, too. And he's got good size. So first and second, nobody out. The hitter is Cleet Thomas, and he swings at the first pitch, the fastball.
Oh, yeah. That's, again, when you're a hitter and you go out there and you're looking at different counts, you see a struggling pitcher, you can just about set on the pitch you want. You know, late in the season, or even the early part of the season, that particular pitch would really be tattooed.
Just missed inside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And he did throw a wild pitch on a breaking ball. So again, you know, as a hitter, all those kind of things are going through your head on different pitches that you're trying to look for. Right now, although he only has 2, there's a good sinker. Took a little bit off on that. Let's take a look at it as that ball just disappears there. Not throwing as hard, not as much effort it seems that he's throwing.
Slider inside, 2-2.
There's that slider. And the good hitters can really, when they do guess or anticipating the pitch, can do it really better than a lot of other ones. There's the fastball again.
Fly ball over toward left field. Let's see what the wind does with it. Pierre is there, makes the catch. Oh, and he spun right off the half wall. The runners don't advance because he got up quickly and got the throw in. It's like he didn't hurt himself.
Very nice play, and battling that wind as he goes into the stands. That's what you call concentration. Keeping your eye there on that ball there, giving up your body as he goes toward the line. Look at that. He keeps it right there, and right on the edge there. Might want to move that chair when he's coming
over. Folks got out of the way, but they left the chair there.
Left the chair right there.
It's not a little stool either. It's kind of like a lifeguard's chair.
Yep.
Matt Young, the hitter, the count no balls and 1 strike. Young 0 for 2, looking for his first spring training hit. Let's hope it happens sometime in the middle of the week.
You can see how down in the minor leagues he would be so intimidating. The lights aren't as good as they are in the major leagues, and it's very difficult to see the ball. Sure, he gets a lot of strikeouts on balls that aren't strikes.
Well, now he's behind 2 balls and 1 strike. I mean, guys are swinging at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking for all the advantages you can as a hitter when you're up at the plate, vice versa as a pitcher. Predictable counts that, you look at those big power hitters. Now they're looking for a fastball there. They don't miss it as Ramirez is starting to warm up.
Ground ball toward the middle. Rollins has it. Boy, that was a friendly hop. 3rd double play ball of the game for the Phillies. So Amont gets into trouble, but then he gets out of it. Why? Well, Juan Pierre certainly helped. This was a heck of a play. The first out of the inning.
Looks like switching to Xfinity was the right call.
To you by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer. Visit ChevyDealer.com. 4-3 Tigers, bottom of the 6th inning. Yesterday's ball game was 1-0. Phillies wound up losing. Some changes. Dixon Machado is the new shortstop. And the new second baseman is Hernan Perez. Brian Holiday checks in behind the plate. And we're Ortega throws the first pitch outside to Lance Nix, and it's 1-0. Ortega came on to get the last out in the 5th. He threw just one pitch to get John Mayberry in relief of Dan Schlereth. Nix today 1 for 2, and he takes outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Raleigh Bishop is over at first base for the Tigers.
Jimmy, you were for the Baltimore Colts.
Outside 3-0. Tony Sierracco is the new third baseman for the Tigers. Strike in there for Nix. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Siriaco we saw last year. He played a couple other infield positions for the Tigers during spring training. Phillies will dip into their bullpen again next inning as we saw J.C. Ramirez warming up. Outside, ball 4. So Nix is aboard to start the 6th. And here comes Pete Orr. We'll probably get some changes for the Phillies shortly. We already had one. Dominic Brown came on a pinch run for Jim Thome. But Charlie Manuel at this point, I would assume, wants the regulars to get at least 3 at-bats. I think he just fired his gum at Juan Samuel over the third base coach's box. Pete Orr's been on base twice today. And he fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1. Orr has had some good swings this afternoon, including that one.
Yeah. All the hitters are starting to kind of hit the ball, start to hit the ball a little bit harder now. They're seeing the more and more pitches. That's what goes on, and the more you see, the easier it becomes to be able to try and get a hit.
Fastball for a strike. It's 0-2.
Usually the last thing that actually comes is being able to pick up the spin, and we talked about that. The quicker you pick that spin up, the quicker you can determine what that pitch is to be able to swing or not.
Well, minor league games are going on. In fact, there are a couple of busloads of Phillies players going over to other spots today. So if guys aren't comfortable with their at-bats, they can get some extra at-bats in the minor league games. 1-2 the count. Nix leads off first. And Orr hits it off the glove of Siriaco at third. And the Phillies have 2 on to start the 6th.
Orr continues to spank that ball and hit that ball hard. That's just a line drive off the glove. And hot corner. Too hot to handle, as they would say.
Well, they score that a hit. So Orr has 2 hits today. And Brian Schneider, who's 1 for 2, will be the batter. Phillies now with 8 hits in this game. Third baseman Siriaco is in on the grass. Schneider swinging away, and he takes upstairs. It's 1-0. Phillies trailed the Tigers the other day, and Carlos Ruiz hit a 3-run home run. They helped bring them back, eventually give the Tigers their first loss of the year. Tigers are 6-1. They're one of the hottest teams in spring training. The Atlanta Braves are 1-8.
Just like when you start to win, you just feel that you're going to win any kind of way. And then when you're losing, you feel that way. You feel that nothing that you can do is going to enable your team to win. Not good to really start to lose a lot of games in spring training. Again, the rule of thumb is if you're right around 500 or a little bit above, you consider that pretty good.
Outside 2-1 to Schneider. Well, the Phillies are right at 500. They've got the game going on in Tampa, and of course the game here.
You got to think that Detroit is going to be the strongest team in the American League Central.
Well, they say that Minnesota is going to be better because Morneau and Mauer are both healthy.
Yeah, but I mean, when you add that Prince there and what he brings to your ball club with the power, with the average.
I agree with that. And their pitching staff too. Don't forget about that. I mean, Porcello, Verlander, and Scherzer. Top three.
Then you have Cabrera that really going to be taking advantage of Prince hitting behind him.
3-2 the count.
Be interesting on the left-handed pitchers whether or not they would actually keep him there or maybe flip-flop him, but I'm sure Cabrera is going to be that third hitter the whole time. Check out these numbers.
Prince with 230 home runs going into this year. Cabrera with 277 home runs.
Look at those RBIs. I mean, it's just, they're just going to have a fun time there. The mediocre guys that they face, that's who you're going to have to feel sorry for. And these guys, too, Cabrera and Prince, those two guys, they hit good pitching.
Schneider fouls another one away, so it remains 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That's one thing to take advantage of your 4 and 5, but these guys here, they're up to the task on the number ones. And Cabrera, we've seen him for so many years, and you know the kind of damage that he can do. This guy drives in a lot of runs, always has.
Nobody out. Phil's down by 1. They have 2 runners on. Count 3-2 to Brian Schneider. And Schneider hits it off the end of the bat to right. Dirks is there, makes the catch. And Nix will hold up at second or back at first. So Schneider's retired, and Freddie Galvis does not have an official at bat because he's got a sac fly and he's been hit by a pitch. Will be up for the 3rd time.
Right, though. Schneider just got that off the end of the bat. 3-2 pitch, and he drove the ball into right field. Wasn't able to hit it a little harder, only because he just came off of it just a little.
Galvis, the number 9 hitter, so Jimmy Rollins is on deck. Tigers play for 2. And Galvis breaks his bat. He's going to loop it into center field. Nix read it nicely. He's around third, heading for home. Here's the throw to the plate by Thomas, off the glove of Laird. Or I should say Holiday, and Lance Nix lowers the boom, and the Phils have tied it up at 4.
Oh, boy. Can you imagine trying to block the plate there, and you got Nix coming in, barreling down on you. Take a look at it. Galvis hits this off the end of the bat there. We call that a little bit of a flare. That's a pretty good throw there. One hop, bam, right to the plate. Not able to hold on to the ball. Take a look at it as he comes around there. Again, he's huffing and puffing. Looked around, so he knew there was going to be a collision. Good, clean play. Nothing else he could do but go on and collide with the catcher.
Yeah, Brian Holiday was trying to handle, but he definitely heard footsteps.
Oh, boy, I tell you. And that's just one of those bang-bang plays, again, that, you know, you're able, if he hangs on to it, more than likely Lance is out at home plate.
Rollins hits it toward right center field. Thomas is over, and he makes the catch. Orr better hustle back, and he's fortunate that throw was wide. Pete Orr, by the way, and Juan Samuel, after that play, were kind of looking at each other. And Sammy was kind of gesturing that Pete should have been at third.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reason that he's saying that, he's reading the ball. Once it goes through, he sees that collision right there. He can get to third. Or it does have good speed. You see Sammy taking a look. Now, there he goes in. Now, he knows he's going to hit him. Now, you should be off and running there at second base, and you make it there a little bit easier as he collides right there with them. Even though that pitcher's back there, you still can make it.
Well, Pierre fouls the first pitch away from Ortega. 4-4 game. Phillies and the Tigers.
Tell you, though, you got to give Nix credit, though.
Oh,
he was off and running, and you don't have to be a fast base runner to be a good one. And that's just reading the play. He didn't have to look at it, even though he turned around to look at it. The speed wasn't going to get him there. The collision ended up making sure.
High chopper to first, and Bishop was playing right there. Pierre is retired. The Phillies have tied it up. They lead 2. We've completed 6. We go to the 7th.
The crowds are getting bigger at Toyota.
Cliff Lee started for the Phillies today. He gave up a 2-run wind-blown home run in the first inning. Had 3 strikeouts in his outing out there. Looks like he mixed in everything. He threw a couple of curveballs. There's a real good changeup right there. Here's the home run of the first inning with a man on and Ryan Rayburn, the batter. Wind blowing out a lot to left field. He just gets it way up in the air and it just keeps on going and blows out of the ballpark. Phillies defense has been pretty good here this afternoon behind the pitchers. They turned 3 double plays. There's Freddie Galvis to Jimmy Rollins. And here, let's go the other way. How about 6-4-3 on this one? And Jimmy all by himself there over to Lance Nix, who's been involved in 3 double plays here this afternoon. And Phillies been playing catch-up since that home run by Rayburn in the first inning. They finally caught up here in the 6th inning on that base hit by Freddie Galvis, who has a sacrifice fly. He's been hit by a pitch, and he's also knocked in a run. You see what Cliff Lee did. Rick Porcello, the starter for the Tigers today, and Ryan Rayburn has had a good game with 3 runs batted in, Tommy.
Well, we've got some changes for the Phillies. We have a new pitcher in J.C. Ramirez. In fact, it's a whole new battery. Steven LaRue is the new catcher. See Ramirez's numbers last year as a starter in Reading. 11 wins, a 4.50 earned run average. So he'll take over for Philippe Almont. There's LaRue. We also have a new shortstop. I'll let you know who that is in just a second. Dixon Machado is the hitter for the Tigers. And the first pitch, he pops it up. Foul territory. First base side. Nix this time makes the catch. And there's one away. Troy Hanzawa is the new shortstop for the Phillies. Hanzawa up from the minor league field. So he and Freddie Galvis will team up as the double play combination. Phillies have a couple of guys up, as we said, from the minor league field, and I think there are some that guys are excited to see, including Derek Mitchell, Jawan James. Here's Hernan Perez. And the first pitch is taken inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
You get a split squad like today. They need a lot of extra players. They send some guys over to Tampa for that game and bring some guys over here to fill in.
J.C. Ramirez, you saw his numbers as a starter. We mentioned earlier that the Phillies are going to move him to being a relief pitcher. He's got some pretty good stuff to be a relief pitcher.
How about this game today where Cliff Lee pitches, and then here comes Ramirez and
Almont before.
And we also saw Almont. So those guys were involved in that deal for Lee, along with Gillies, Tyson Gillies,
or Gillies.
Why can't I say that?
There must have been a Jillies that you knew back in the day.
We used to call Bill Jillies all the time. Giles. Maybe that's it. We used to call him Jillies or Gillis.
Inside, ball 4, and Perez is aboard with 1 out. So Ramirez walks the second batter he faces, and here's Siriaco. Mentioned we saw Siriaco last year during spring training when the Tigers and Phillies would face each other. 2 for 4 so far this spring. 24 years old, out of the Dominican Republic, and he takes a strike. He's a shortstop who last year played in AA and in AAA. Hit .277 in AA with 5 home runs.
How tall is he? Get their media guy there.
6'3".
Yeah, he looks like one of those big shortstops.
200 pounds.
Whoops.
And they've got the runner picked. As long as Nix can make this throw, he can. Hanzawa the tag. 2 outs.
Pitchers love that. Be able to get an easy out that way. Good job by Lance Nix, who's been good over there today. Both offensively and defensively. Here's the play. Hanzawa makes a nice tag. You know, he had that pop-up early in the game that was barely up in the air, got into the sun and the wind, wasn't able to make it. There's Hanzawa just made that tag. And they want to see Nix a little bit at first base.
Yeah, because as we've talked about it, it's still unsettled with Ryan Howard being continuing to rehab from that torn Achilles tendon. So you could see a cycle for Charlie Manuel over at first base. You can see John Mayberry. You can see Jim Thome. You can see Lance Nix.
He's going to have to spin the wheel some days.
Here's the 0-2. In the air to left center field, John Mayberry. And it turns out to be a rather uneventful inning for J.C. Ramirez. We may see him for one more. We'll see. Time to stretch here at Bright House Field in a 4-4 game. Subscribe to MLB.TV Premium today and get over 150 select spring training games with no blackouts, Wheels. And every regular season game live or on demand on your favorite devices. Visit Phillies.com for details. Some of the youngsters here at the ballpark as we go through our 7th inning stretch.
How about those totals?
4-9-0 across the board.
Yeah.
Chris Buchek is the new pitcher for the Tigers. 4th ball game this spring. 3 strikeouts in 3 innings so far. Last year in AAA for the Tampa Bay Rays. 7 starts, 3.57 earned run average.
Guy's getting a little more some ABs today because of the split squad situation.
Hunter Pence's 4th at bat.
Yeah, same thing with Jimmy Rollins before he left. Pierre had 4 plate appearances, 4 at bats. But you guys couldn't believe he didn't get that bunt down, huh?
I was stunned.
Oh yeah.
Pence pops it up around the mound. Buchek gets out of the way. 4 infielders converge. And it's Perez who makes the catch.
Yeah, and he kept trying to give him credit there. Even with 2 strikes, he tried to get it down. That one he almost got fair. But that's always been a thing that Juan Pierre has done so well and will continue to do well.
Pence 1 for 4 this afternoon. And Dominic Brown makes his return after injuring his thumb last week against the Yankees. 2 for 8 in the spring. I should say earlier this week, this past Monday. Dominic looked very comfortable during BP today. That's a good sign. He still would like to battle for that left field position. I think they would still like to let him just play every day at Lehigh Valley and get used to playing left field.
Well, what happened other than
He's still a work in progress.
Yep. Remember last year? Was it last year against Justin Verlander where he hit that home run? Or was it the year before? Here in spring training?
The year before.
Yeah, it was the year before.
Hit it to right center.
Behind second. And the shortstop Machado's there to make the catch. 2 outs. So 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 7th. And John Mayberry will bat for the 4th time. Said Charlie Emanuel has some options, and he likes Dominic Brown as an athlete. I mean, he loves him. Said he's got some tools. And athleticism's hard to find. John Mayberry is 1 for 3. Had an RBI back in the 4th on a ground out. The count to John Mayberry. Wheels, if you had St. Bonaventure in your Atlantic 10 pool as the champion, you would be the winner.
I'll let you handle that stuff.
Beat Xavier today.
Was that expected?
Nope.
Okay.
But they have a good team. They had the player of the year, Andrew Nicholson, over 2,000 points this year. You know who they talk about Andrew Nicholson with when it comes to St. Bonaventure? As Mayberry hits one a ton deep down the left field line. Fair or foul? It's a foul ball. Anyway, Bob Lanier.
Oh, I know Bob Lanier. Yeah. Well, that's pretty good company.
Yeah, Florida State has won the ACC championship.
Who won the Big Ten?
I don't think that's been decided yet.
Okay. And Mike Schmidt, he used to hit some balls like that. Mike will stay a little longer this year.
He's got his lineup card. You think he's running some things today?
No, he might be. Charlie might be giving him some extra responsibilities today with Pete McCannon out here. He's probably the bench coach. Pete's managing the club over in Tampa. So Mike is, let's call him, he's today's bench coach.
And there's Jimmy Rollins signing some autographs down the left field line. Inside 2-2. Let me say this. You know, you think about Hall of Famers. Mike Schmidt is engaged when he's down here in spring training.
Yes.
He really is into it.
You know, he is much more engaged in this part of his life than he was as a player, and he'll be the first to tell you that. He's really enjoying this.
Mayberry pushes it over to second, so it's a 1-2-3 inning. We have 7 in the books. We go to the top of the 8th. Jimmy Rollins finishing some duties down the left.
It's getting
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank. We're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Xfinity, only from Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. All tied up at 4. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Tigers and the Phils. So that we can see some of the youngsters for the Phillies. And we're seeing one right there. That is Derek Mitchell, who comes on to play right field. And then the very athletic Jawan James, who needs some rosin, is now in center field for the Phillies. Jawan James has gotten taller, I think, over the last couple of years. And the new pitcher is left-hander Jake Diekman. Folks, take a look at this kid. I mean, he's getting there fast. He's ascending right now in the Phillies organization. 53 games last year at 3.05 earned run average.
Yeah, they like him. They really like his fastball. He evidently is a breaking ball in progress. And, you know, if he gets that, and that's the command of it, he's not a comfortable left-hander to hit off, evidently, because he's funky and he throws really hard. He's not this guy, but he reminds you a little bit of Venters in that way, that Venters is not comfortable to hit off because he throws so darn hard and his ball's so heavy. Now Venters is a star.
Right, he's already a major leaguer.
Yeah.
But Diekman could be one day, and it could be very soon. Here's Brandon Douglas against Diekman, and the first pitch is up high, 1-0. Diekman is 25 years old. He's from Nebraska. Selected in the 30th round in 2007. 1-1 strike the count. Phillies drafted him out of Cloud County Community College in not Nebraska, Wheels, but Kansas.
Well, it's close to Nebraska.
It is. Another foul ball, and it's 1-2. That ball was drilled.
We have radar in these games, obviously, in these little ballparks. So you go back to the old-fashioned way. See if guys are throwing hard, and when they start fouling the other way, pitchers normally throwing hard.
Well, there's a guy who made a very good play on that line drive and saved a handful of people. 1-2 the count. And a swing and a miss. He was late on that pitch. 1 out.
Yeah, well, as you say, he was late. He was late on the one before that, hit that screaming foul ball down there that the fan made a good play on. And he's just come out and thrown fastballs. And they say he's in the mid-90s.
He's at 95 the other day.
Yeah. See, he's a little bit funky, a little bit three-quarters. And when you're a left-handed hitter and a guy's throwing that hard and he comes from that slot, you get happy feet.
Well, the Phillies converted him to a relief pitcher back in 2010. He was a starter, and his earned run average in 08 was around 5, and in 09 it was at 4 when he started 2 games for the Lakewood Blue Claws. And actually it was 2009 when he was converted into being a reliever. Fly ball down the left field line. Pierre won't have a play.
Another late swing.
Well, Gorman Highmuir, who is the Phillies minor league pitching coordinator, who we've known for years and is a great guy, he's helped with the arm slot, with changing the arm slot for Diekman, to dropping him to where he is right now.
Right, and that's the point I'm making, that he makes a hitter uncomfortable. Because if he throws over the top 95, oh, they can crush that stuff. But from the side a little bit,
Another foul ball.
Where are they all going? The opposite field.
Right.
All these fastballs. And that means the guy's got some cheese when you see that.
Andy Dirks is 0 for 2, up for the 4th time today. He walked back in the 4th and scored a run.
See him shifting way over right now because of the fact that, well, 2 things. He's behind in the count, 0-2 or 1-2, and he's fouling balls the other way, so you just move guys over. You see how you can see that defense the way we just showed it to you. The only way this guy's going to pull the ball looks like if he throws off speed and speed his bat up.
Well, there's the breaking ball, missed by Dirks. LaRude will go after it, throws to first in time. Nice recovery by LaRude. Back-to-back strikeouts.
I like that breaking ball a little bit. You know, it wasn't hard. It was kind of a slurvy type of breaking ball. But watch this guy bail out right here after the first couple fastballs. This left-handed hitter is exiting. See him pull off. Oh, there goes the hip. And LaRue makes a nice play to get after it. Here he comes from the side, throwing a little spinner. But after all those fastballs and the hard fastball, he's not in a real hurry to stay there. So that's the kind of things you see about this guy that they like.
Here's Brian Holiday. He takes inside. It's 1-0. Diekman this past fall pitched in the Arizona Fall League. It was the second straight year he pitched in the Arizona Fall League. And he was named to the All-Prospect team. He's behind 1-0 to Brian Holiday. Hitless this spring. Down the right field line. That'll slice foul.
You know, we know these hitters are, you know what kind of talented hitters they are, but no one's come close to pulling the ball yet on this fastball. Now, there are a lot of hitters in Major League Baseball that will pull anything.
Sure.
Can't throw it hard.
You know, and a couple of them are out of the game right now for the Tigers. But it is promising to watch him pitch. Fly ball to right field. And Diekman with a 1-2-3 8th inning. That is as impressive as we've seen this spring training.
All your
PHL 17 is now the #1 comedy in Philadelphia. Check out Sheldon, Leonard, Penny, and the rest of the gang in the award-winning comedy, The Big Bang Theory, weeknights at 7:30 and 11 on PHL 17. Don't forget Howard and Raj too. And that show, The Big Bang Theory. Tied at 4. We go to the bottom of the 8th. And Buchek will face Lance Nix. Pete Orr. Those are the first two hitters.
Hey, these guys are getting a lot of ABs today.
There's Dominic Brown and Juwan James to Dominic's right.
They have been doing a lot of laughing down there, standing there with Charlie talking about some things. Charlie was also engaged in a conversation with club president David Montgomery right behind him, and I think the players were getting a big kick out of it.
Charlie's looking for somebody. He's looking for a pinch runner.
Well, Mike Schmidt's a bench coach. He's got to take charge down there, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, he did run in to get whoever it was that was going to pinch run. So Cody Overbeck will pinch run for the Phillies. Lance Nix, 2 hits, a walk, a run scored.
Got a little look at Lance Nix today. You know, he's getting healthier. Got a little bit of leg problems early. This guy will help the Phillies this year. He's versatile.
Oh, no question.
I like the way he runs deep counts. He walks. He gets ahead in the count. You know, he can play some positions. He'll hit some home runs. He's going to be a nice player, a nice addition to this team.
Well, Pete Orr's been on base 3 times today. He's up for the 4th time. Phillies and the Tigers tied at 4. Orr bunts and bunted it through it. I thought he got a piece of it. but he didn't.
Sounded like it.
Well, here we go. This is what we've been talking about all spring, is trying to move the runner in the scoring position.
Sounded like he fouled that thing.
No,
well,
just missed it.
Yeah.
Phillies be on the road tomorrow and Tuesday, and then back home here at Bright House Field on Wednesday. And Orr bunts it in the air. Phillies aren't getting the butt down today.
No. You know, Orr's got bunt a little bit too. We saw him do it last year, but not in this case. Probably take it off now. In my opinion, Pierre just did that on his own.
Oh, I agree.
When he was up
when
there,
he bunted,
figured that
with 2 strikes.
Yeah, he was just, you know, he's annoyed with himself that he didn't get it down, and looked like Juan was just trying to get it down with 2 strikes and almost did. In this case, left-handed hitter, hole open, they'll probably let him swing away.
0-2 the count. The throw nearly sailed, but Bishop was able to grab it.
They were going to take one. They want to take a look in there just to see if he was going to square. Like, well, this team likes to bunt with 2 strikes.
Put it on the scouting report, Will.
Yeah.
In the dirt, Holiday kept it around the plate, so it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Pete Orr. Well, the wind's really picked up, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, the wind really started blowing from east to west today, and that's why they thought it might blow some showers in from the East Coast. Got a little bit dark, and then they went right by. Oh. Yeah, that stuff's all passers has gone by. Hopefully.
Flags are still moving at a pretty good pace, though.
Yeah, but it's blowing it the other way. You know, that's a good sign. Blowing it away from here.
Now it's 2-2, and Orr stays alive. Trying to continue what's been a pretty good day for Pete Orr at the plate. He has scored a run. He's been on base 3 times, a couple hits, a walk. He had been 0 for 10 this spring before today's game. Who's over at first has a really short lead. He just doesn't want to get picked up.
Yeah. Get a chance to come over here in a major league game, and you don't want to make a mistake.
Not really a threat to run. He has 2 stolen bases in his minor league career. 2-2 the count. Orr takes low, 3-2.
Here's a decision. Charlie just gave it easy. I don't think he gave Juan some well aside. Looked like he just went with his hand and let him go. We'll see. Maybe that's a deke. Dominic Brown's like, ask him, is that a sign?
Buchek was trying to see what was happening.
Well, he's not going to get picked off with that lead. What he's hoping there is he leaves early if he's going to go. But a guy with that kind of lead should never leave early.
Well, they call it a one-way lead.
Oh, that is.
There he goes. And another foul ball. So Overbeck will head back toward the first base bag.
It's great to watch James and Brown down there with Charlie Manuel, just stand there talking to him. You know, I love to watch young players who watch the game. And see, those 2 guys, they're watching the game. They're trying to learn something. They're not in the dugout, you know, telling jokes and fooling around.
They're still getting their laughs in, though.
Oh, well, they'll make you laugh.
The runner does not go, and lines it to right field, a base hit. Overbeck's going to hold up at second. They decided not to start the runner. That was a whale of a throw by Andy Dirks.
Kind of surprised they didn't run there, because he would have, you know, with the way that ball was hit, it was diving quickly. He probably would have read it off the bat and gotten the third.
All right, so now LaRue is up, and you would think that they're going to try to get the runners over with Steven LaRue with a sacrifice attempt.
Right, because you're going to give it another shot. Even in spring training, the strategy here would be to do that. Here comes Lloyd McClendon. He may go for another arm here, but you don't want LaRue to swing away here and hit it with a double play early in the count.
Lloyd McClendon has a right-hander loosening up in the bullpen. Buchek pitched the 7th inning. Oscar Villarreal is warming up, or excuse me, Brian Villarreal is warming up in the pen. So we've got a pitching change. The Tigers and the Phillies tied at 4, but the Phillies are threatening. Why not try something more fun to kick off your morning? Get all your weather, traffic, trends, and headlines in a different kind of news show. Catch Eye Opener weekday mornings from 6 to 8 right here on PHL 17. Phillies are threatening here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they've had some late game heroics already this week. Luis Montañez hit a home run to win it for the Phils earlier this week, and Brian Villarreal is the new pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. I called him Oscar because Oscar Villarreal has been in the major leagues for the last handful of years, and he was just here the other day.
Right, he's here with Baltimore
with the Orioles yesterday. Yeah. So Brian last year in the big leagues, 18 games, a 6.75 earned run average. He'll face Steven LaRue. Now, the odds are that LaRue's still going to bunt.
Sure.
But Buchek had already pitched an inning, so he was probably tiring, so they decided to make the change. So LaRue, one of the Phillies spring training invitees.
See if the Tigers want to experiment with some or practice some bunt plays here now, or whether they just go with a standard bunt play.
Well, Siriaco's in on the grass at third. LaRue already squares, and he bunts the ball in the air, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, they just went standard there. No rotation plays, nothing tricky, no step off, throw back to second. There's Charlie with his bench coach, the great Michael Jack.
So Pete McCann is managing the team up in Tampa. 0-1 the count. LaRue squares again, and he bunts it in the air again. Villarreal is bringing it. The pitches are a little up.
Yeah, this guy watching him warm up was all over the place, but he looked like he threw hard. He had a really hard breaking ball. And those were not, I don't think either of those pitches were strikes that he just bunted.
LaRue last year played in the Orioles organization. He's been with the Pirates and the Orioles.
I'm going to let him try one more time.
He's also been with the Kansas City Royals. 0-2 the count. Nope. And he hits it the opposite way. Siriaco has it. They may get 3. There's 1, there's 2, and that's all they'll get. I mean, that was a heads-up play to go to second base after that.
I believe he did that. I was sure he just tagged third and go to first. Tremendous play because it takes the potential go-ahead runner. As soon as he did this, I thought he was going to throw this ball to right field. This thing's hit hard, too. That's a really nice play. Right there, look, right away he's got his body in position to throw to second, and here he goes. As Tom said, they may get three. You can get a triple play on that ball, except he was a little far away from the bag when he started it.
So 2 outs here at the bottom of the 8th. Freddie Galvis is the hitter. And Freddie fouls the first pitch away. It's no balls and 1 strike. He's had a good day. He's got a couple RBIs. Singled his last time up, was hit by a pitch in the 5th and scored. Not too bad, Wills. 333 in the spring for Freddie Galvis.
Yeah, he's done some, and playing second base here today too, which they're taking a little look at him there.
Pitch out.
The catcher at first.
LaRue has 11 career stolen bases in the minor leagues.
They knew that.
Sometimes they just want to make guys feel good. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Gonzalez is in the on-deck circle. If Galvis can get on.
Gonzalez is from Hawaii.
Yeah, we've seen him the last couple of years here in spring training. They say he has a great glove at shortstop. Galvis fought it off. Pick it up when it stops. It's not a bad way to go about it.
Like a knuckleball.
Two balls, 2 strikes the count. Phillies with 4 runs on 11 hits. The Tigers 4 runs on 9 hits. This guy's got a funky delivery too. He's not over the top. He's more 3/4 or so.
It's a short arm.
Ruben Amar was talking to some of the writers yesterday about Freddie Galvis, and said they're just giving him a look over at second base and third. Part of that is because Jimmy signed for the next 3 years plus. And he said the organization envisions Galvis as a shortstop. But you want to give him a look. It's not a bad idea. I mean, he certainly has the defensive ability to move from place to place.
It's the same thing we talk about all the time in these games, that the manager would much rather have seen the guy play at those positions than have somebody else tell him whether he can do it or not.
2-2 the count. And that one just foul. Freddie is getting closer and closer.
They turned that line around. The Phillies would have had the lead a couple times in this game. That ball that Mayberry hit.
Center field. He put it in play, but the side is retired. The Phillies certainly did threaten here in the bottom of the 8th, unable to score. We go to the 9th, all tied up.
What's that?
Opposing team 1-2-3, which is what B.J. Rosenberg is going to try to do here in the top of the ninth. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity HD Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, lightning fast internet, and home phone. 4-4 game, top of the ninth inning. Lloyd McClendon and Rich Doobie just conferred behind home plate about what would happen if this game went into extra innings or if it was tied after 9. And you see Rosenberg's numbers last year with the Reading Phillies under Mark Parent. And they can either play an extra inning or they can call it after 9. But we'll see. There'll be an announcement made shortly. Lloyd McClendon is managing today here in Clearwater because Jim Leland is up in Kissimmee. Rafael Belliard is next to him. Overbeck stays in the ballgame to play first base for the Phils. And Raleigh Bishop will lead it off for the Tigers.
Detroit at Houston. The game was rained out.
Really?
It says canceled. Washington and St. Louis postponed because they had some rain over the East Coast today.
Huh. How lucky are we?
Phillies lost that game, 3-0 over in Tampa.
Yeah, it was a fast one. Yeah. Kyle Kendrick pitched very well, though, they said, for the first 3 innings.
Good.
Bishop takes a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 26-year-old B.J. Rosenberg. Former 13th round selection by the Phillies in the 2008 draft. A non-roster invitee to this year's camp. A 2008 graduate of the Big East champion University of Louisville. Over to shortstop, Calvis. Whoa, that ball didn't take the hop. Look at the hands. See, that's what they talk about. Wow, how fast his reactions are. And I think he just showed it right there. That was not an easy play.
No. It's an understatement, because it's going to take a nice big hop out there, and he's going to look for another one, but then it hits and just went straight down. And now he throws from his knees, almost a little bit too high, but nice play. It's a little shorter throw for you there, Freddie, when you get a ball like that.
Lee Thomas the hitter, and Thomas takes a strike. 0-1. Rosenberg has been a relief pitcher for most of his career, although he did start 14 games last year for the Reading Phils. Lee Thomas today is 0 for 3. He's flied out twice, reached on a fielder's choice, but also had an RBI. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Seems like we've said this a lot during spring training, but Rosenberg also was in the Arizona Fall League. Fly ball left center field. Pierre on the track. It looks like he has room. 2 outs.
The opposite field for the left-handed hitter, and that's probably the main reason that ball doesn't go out of the ballpark, because we don't know how much power the guy has. But that wind was really taking that ball to left field. You see the flags blowing straight out of the east. 80 degrees.
So 2 away, and Matt Young will bat for the 4th time. Young is 0 for 3. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. I guess the thought is that B.J. Rosenberg will pitch in AAA this year for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Ryan Sandberg and Rod Nichols. Phillies do have some pitchers coming up. Two and 1 the count. Ryan Sandberg will be the manager in AAA. Dusty Wathan, he's a good guy, boy. He is now in Reading in AA. Called strike 2. Chris Truby will be in Clearwater here at Bright House Field, and Mickey Morandini will be in the Garden State in Lakewood.
Yeah.
With the Blue Claws.
2nd year for Mickey. As a minor league manager than Williamsport last year.
How about that staff, though? You talk about veteran coaches. Mickey is the rookie at Lakewood. Greg Legg, the hitting coach. Legger.
Yeah.
And Steve Schrank is the pitching coach.
Yeah, those two guys have a lot of experience. Both played in the major leagues. Obviously, Mickey had a nice career.
3-2 the count. Machado is the on-deck hitter. And there's ball 4. So he'll bat with 2 outs after the walk to Matt Young.
Shortstop, Dixon Machado.
And now Machado. You want to talk about looking young. Machado, he looks awfully young. He'll take strike 1. It's 0-1.
Look at this guy at first base. Matt Young can run, and really not a guy you look at the steal bags, but you never know in a game like this.
Out of the Atlanta Braves organization. That one caught by Rosenberg. Great reactions. We've seen that twice already in this inning. Once by Freddie Galvis and now by B.J. Rosenberg. We go to the bottom of the 9th. I'll leave it at 4. Those ball games here at Bright House Field. Yesterday was a 1-0 victory, or 1-0 loss, I should say, by the Phillies. And then earlier this week in the 10th inning against the Pirates, Luis Montañez hit a game-winning home run for the Phils. Well, they're looking for a game winner here. They may have to do it with some table setters to start. Brian Villarreal, the pitcher for the Tigers, he came on to relief in the 8th inning. And now he'll pitch the 9th. There is warm-up action in the Tigers bullpen. Robbie Weinhardt is loosening up, and there's warm-up action in the Phillies bullpen. So that would lead us to believe that we're going to go, if this game is tied, at least one more inning.
That's all they play now is 10, so we'll go one more, it would appear.
Tyson Brummett is in the bullpen. And Zawa will lead it off for the Phillies. He takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1. Zawa, 5'9", 155 pounds. He will be 27 years old this September. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Last year, he started in Clearwater, hit .223, and then went up to Reading for 8 games, hit under 100. And you see his combined numbers a season ago. Selected in the 16th round in the 2008 draft out of San Diego State University. Well, he went to San Diego State, went to Hawaii, and also Yavapai in Arizona. That's a junior college. big soccer program at Yavapai Junior College.
How do you know that?
Well, back in my days as a sports writer for the Trenton Times, I covered Yavapai soccer when they were in Mercer County in the national championship.
I mean, if you said that Yavapai to Sarge, you'd want to know what kind of pie that is. And I'm looking at you. How do you know that?
Zawa stays alive. And it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Be like, you have a pie? Yeah, man, I'll take that.
Yeah, back when I was writing for a long time, Mercer County Community College was a soccer power.
Okay.
And they hosted the national championship right now.
Well, you never know the connection. I was trying to figure out, how do you know that?
Up the third base line. This is going to be a tough play. Siriaco, though, all in one motion. Very fluid.
Not for that guy.
Nope.
He is really a good-looking defensive player.
That's a shortstop over there at third. And 1 gone here in the 9th.
I mean, that play he made last inning on LaRue, the left-handed hitter, when he sliced it near the bag, was tremendous. Great jump there with the shortstop's arm.
Yeah, and very good actions, too, as he got to that ball and flipped.
Well, he made sure he was had the proper footwork when he caught it.
Well, here's Juan Pierre trying to get on base.
And try that bunt again.
Not over to third.
No. Well, if you bunt it towards that third baseman, you know, you better deaden it.
One ball, no strikes. The count to Pierre. Pierre today 0 for 4. He struck out twice. Once was that bunt on the third strike.
Talk about an overshift defense. They're way over in left center for him.
Yeah, but they're deep, though, in left. It surprised you how deep Matt Young is in left?
Yeah, except for the wind blowing out a little bit.
Broke his bat. Back to the mound. Villarreal takes the spinner. 2 outs. So Villarreal has the first 2 gone here, and that'll bring Derek Mitchell to the plate. Mitchell, a 25-year-old who last year hit .265 with 19 home runs and 79 runs batted in. He is a center fielder, and he was a free agent at the end of last year, and the Phillies made sure that they re-signed him because he's starting to come into his own. He's a lot bigger this year than what I remember from years before. Filled out a little bit. Selected in the 23rd round back in 2005. The 19 homers last year, career high in the minors. He also stole 20 bases, so he has 76 stolen bases. Last year he was in Reading. Might be at Reading again. Most likely get a chance to play in AAA at some point. He loops that one to left center field. That'll be a base hit. Well, now we'll see if he'll think about getting those wheels moving a little bit.
Yeah, they may think about letting him try it. Sam Perlazo down there talking to Mitchell at first.
We mentioned he had 20 stolen bases last year, 28 the year before here in Clearwater, 76 overall. He doesn't go, and Dominic Brown chops it in front of the plate. Holiday picks it up, and his ball gets away from the first baseman. Mitchell keeps on going over to third. Bishop thought he had it. I don't know if he has a hole in his glove. I think he does. He's got a hole in his glove.
It looked like he went right through it.
Right through it.
Like it broke the way. Yep. He couldn't believe it because he looked at his glove like, I caught that, didn't I? I mean, I should have. Well, put the glove down.
That'll have to be an E3.
Sure. Got to give the glove an error. Here's a look at. Catcher makes a nice play. Good throw. Right through the webbing. Look at his glove. He's looking for the ball right now. Like, well, I have that, right? Innings over.
Oh, yeah, that went right through the web.
Now watch him look at his glove.
It's like, well, this is kind of light.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, Perez was backing it up, so he's got a new piece of leather. In fact, it's not a first baseman's mitt. He only brought one. And here's Juwan James. James last year here in Clearwater hit 268.
He could get a legger, too, right?
31 steals last year. He's an athlete. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Switch hitter.
He was a pitcher at one point, had some arm injuries, and the Phillies made him into an outfielder. He is a switch hitter, batting left-handed, out of Gainesville. He was supposed to go to the University of Florida.
That's in his backyard if he lives in Gainesville.
Yep. Well, he's from Williston. I think it's in the same area, isn't it? But he was born in Gainesville. Tied for third in at-bats and fifth in stolen bases, sixth in runs. 0-2 the count, 4-4 game. Runners on first and third. And a strike three. James down looking. Phillies lead 2. Will go to the 10th. It's the Tigers 4 and the Phillies 4.
Best on gas.
Because of the number of pitchers that both teams have left, this is going to be our final inning. So we get one inning of free baseball here at Bright House Field in a 4-4 ball game. And the Phillies will dip back into their farm system for their next pitcher, Tyson Brummett, who last year pitched in AA and in AAA, will be the new pitcher here in the top of the 10th in the 4-4 game. See Brummett's numbers combined last year: 37 games, 17 starts. This is a kid who was drafted twice by the Giants and decided not to sign. He was late in the draft, then went to UCLA, and the Phillies picked him in the 7th round of 2007. For his career, he has been mostly a starter, but he has dabbled in the bullpen. So he'll start the top of the 10th inning. It's a 4-4 game. Tigers scored 2 in the first on a home run by Ryan Rayburn. Cliff Lee went the first 3 for the Phillies. Meanwhile, Rick Porcello went the first 4 for the Tigers. Both starters gave up 2 runs. And now here in the 10th, the Phillies minor leaguers who were brought here to the big field, all but one have played. And the first pitch to Perez is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Ground ball, foul. Fans acknowledging the play by Pete Orr. He got there. And it's 0-2. Fly ball down the left field line. Juan Pierre has been busy with that side of the field, and the wind blows it out of play. Pierre, James, and Mitchell in the outfield. In fact, Juan Pierre, Freddie Galvis, and Pete Orr are the only starters that remain in the game this afternoon. To the count. Brummett first made it to Double-A back in 2008. Since that time, he's overcome a couple of injuries, but he's been shuttling back between Reading, Lehigh Valley. He's been in Clearwater. Part of that is that they converted him to a relief pitcher at the end of the 09 season and at the beginning of 2010. But as we said, he's done both. And that wasn't a bad spot with the 1-2 pitch. Like it was a slider or cutter, and it's 2-2. Perez stays alive. He walked his only time up today. Brummett is now 27 years old. He'll be 28 this August. Must have been a heck of a pitcher in college. We went to UCLA to play.
He and Chase Utley have probably had some conversations about UCLA, or will. Chase was around there today. He was in the dugout for a while today.
Low, 3-2. Chase took batting practice again today. We talked about that. We've talked about that each telecast, about him taking BP, running, and they're just being as cautious as possible. Another foul ball. The ball girl couldn't field at the start of this game with all the balls down there. That have been rolling down there. She's going to become a professional soon.
Chased after a lot of them. Nice. You get to sit in the sun all day, watch a game.
Fly ball, shallow right field. Mitchell started back. Now will come in. And he makes the catch. Mitchell, center fielder, as we mentioned, playing right field.
But Brummett kept throwing strikes. He used to a lot of foul balls. And, you know, it was nice to see that he come in and walk the leadoff guy.
Well, Siriaco's the next hitter. He's 0 for 1. He flied to center his first time up. Offensively today, the Phillies have had a couple guys put together some good days. Here's Mitchell again. That should blow out of play, and it does. Offensively, Freddie Galvis has a couple RBIs. Pete Orr's been on base 4 times. Lance Nix on base 3 times, had 2 hits. Now they just need to put this game away and get a victory. To the count. Guy that wears the number 38 in the big leagues, Kyle Kendrick, pitched in Tampa today, pitched 3 scoreless innings.
Ed Buss is probably back by now.
Yeah, it was a quick one. CC Sabathia started for the Yankees. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. He may have broken his bat. James didn't see it right away, and he makes the catch. 2 outs.
Your attention, please. Now pinch hitting for the Tigers, number 28, Jamie Johnson.
So Jamie Johnson will be the pinch hitter for Detroit. Phillies in their half of the 10th inning will head toward the bottom of the order. Oh, and 1 the count.
Tigers had a tie yesterday.
Yeah, they did.
So they know right now if they don't get a run here that you know they'll could either lose this game or tie it. They're going to go play 10.
Yeah, they lost on Friday to the Phillies and then tied yesterday. Phillies made the trip up to Lakeland. Now the 1-1 pitch. Well, you're right about the strikes, and even the pitches out of the zone or just barely out of the zone.
He keeps throwing the ball over the plate, and they're swinging at him. You know, some of these games you see kids come over for the complex, and they're nervous. Why wouldn't they be?
Have to be.
Yeah, they go out there and they can't throw it in the ocean. But you know, this kid's come out here and thrown the ball over the plate at least. And they're not down the middle either. As you can see, these hitters just trying to spoil them.
But they're close enough.
Yeah. Right, they're right near the plate, you know, where you don't want to get called out.
For guys like Tyson Drummond, I mean, they're pitching in front of Charlie Manuel. They're pitching in front of Rich Doobie.
Right.
And a pretty good-sized crowd. Ground ball softly hit. Galvis charges, underhand flip, side is retired. Good job by Tyson Drummond. He'll take this game to the bottom of the 10th inning. The Phillies have a chance to win it in their final at-bat. Of the 10th inning, a 4-4 ball game. Cody Overbeck, Pete Orr, and Steven LaRude, the hitters, due up in what will be our final half inning. Phillies don't score. This game will end in a 4-4 tie. And the new pitcher for the Tigers is Robbie Weinhardt, who started for Toledo last year for Phil Nevin. 28 starts, 8-12, a 4.71 earned run average. And he will face Cody Overbeck to begin the bottom of the 10th inning. Overbeck, a third baseman by trade. And then he swings at the first pitch. He's got some power too, but not this time. 1 out. And Bishop with his old glove must have been tightened up a little bit, is able to make the catch. Here comes Pete Orr.
Those trainers can do a lot of things. That reminds me, been meaning to do this. Jeff Cooper, a longtime Phillies trainer, is going to be inducted into the National Athletic Trainers Association Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Only the 4th Major League Baseball inductee, trainer, to be inducted into that Hall of Fame. Now, they come from all different sports. That'll happen in June at their St. Louis annual meeting. And congratulations to Coop, longtime trainer here with the Phillies, friend of a lot of ours.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
That is really a terrific honor, and we just like to pass that along.
He still has done some work with the Phillies even after he retired.
Oh, yeah, he's still
a lot of work, actually.
Right. Rehab stuff.
2-0 the count to Pete Orr. Hits that one sharply. But right at the second baseman, Perez. 2 outs here in the 10th.
Made me think of him because those trainers can do anything.
Yeah.
Trainers over the years have been known to just lace those gloves up when they break during the game and fix things.
Phillies trainers this year, Phillies athletic trainers. Scott Sheridan, Sean Fakasny.
Right, and
there's Ichiro and Scott.
Scott took over for Jeff Cooper when Coop retired.
Steven LaRue on the hands, and this game looks like it's going to end in a 4-4 tie. It will. A 6-3 putout, and that's going to do it. The first tie of the spring for the Phillies. They were down 2-0 to start, and they finished this up in a 4-4 ball game. Some guys did some pretty good work this afternoon for the Phillies offensively, and Charlie Manuel also got to see some of his arms, like Jake Diekman pitched very well once again in this afternoon's game. So the Tigers and the Phils, well, they'll finish in a 4-4 tie here this afternoon in front of a crowd of a little more than 9,000 here at Bright House Field. 4-4 the final score here at Bright House. We'll be back to wrap it up after this.